The following is a presentation of Manatee Schools Television in association with TV production teachers and students.
History is written by the winners. When it comes to the back-and-forth dominance that all great rivalries are built on, there's an opportunity each year to write a new script to that history. While the memories of past seasons and championships may fade over the years, they lay the foundation for the kind of rivalry that stands the test of time and pays no mind to the records of either team. When it comes to Manatee and Southeast, that rivalry has catapulted the participants into gridiron immortality and carved out a special place for our community on the Florida football map. While greatness may wax and wane on each sideline over the years, the rivalry remains great because of those who paved the way and those who will never forget. To the ghosts of the past, this game is meant to last forever. For the athletes on the field tonight, whether they are playing for their pride or their postseason, this is the game that they all circle, and the game they'll never forget. Tonight, it's Manatee at Southeast, your game of the week on MSTV. And welcome everybody to Paul Meckley Field at John Kiker Memorial Stadium for the next chapter in the legendary rivalry between the Southeast Seminoles and the Manatee Hurricanes. And good evening, everybody. I'm Skip Wilhoit, and alongside me, my broadcast partner in the booth tonight, longtime Manatee County football coach, Coach Comboy. Coach, how you doing tonight?
Great. Looking forward to a great game tonight. We got a great revival of a rivalry that has been one of the best rivalries in the state for many years, Manatee and Southeast. kind of fallen off the last few years, but the last time they played, Southeast got the upper hand, and Manatee wants to make up for that tonight. So we should have a good game. We should have a lot of energy in the stands, a lot of energy on the field. Hopefully, not a lot of penalties like we had last week.
Yeah, they got our names mixed up a little bit on the screen, but that's okay. He's Coach Chris Conboy. I'm Skip Wilhoit. And when we talk about the rivalry, it's really one of a back and forth. The history of this rivalry, obviously, it was built on the championships of the 1980s in Manatee and Southeast appearing in those state championship games. And then in the 90s, they got their own titles here at Southeast. So that's really the foundation of the history of this rivalry, when we used to have 10,000 fans gather around the stadium to watch these teams play on Friday night. And it may not be your father's rivalry in terms of that type of matchup anymore right now, but nonetheless, it's still Southeast, it's still Manatee, and it still means something to the community, and it still means something to the players out on the field tonight.
Yeah, the history goes back, I think, when Manatee County really became a powerhouse in football. 1980, when they hired John Sprague at Riverview, Joe Kinnan at Manatee, and Paul Meckley here at Southeast, and the three of those guys were there for 30 years. They were all head coach ADs. They did things the right way. They they implemented weight programs, off-season conditioning, things like that. Went to clinics, kept up to date on things, and the programs grew, and the whole area of football just blossomed during that time.
Yeah, and every year these teams would meet. Southeast and Manatee, Riverview in that mix as well, often the district opponent of the Manatee Hurricanes. But the last few years, not a lot of frequency. We mentioned the last time these two teams matched up was 2020. Southeast taking a 1-point victory in that ball game. And you got to go back a few more years before these teams played again. But Manatee dominated the rivalry in the 1980s. Southeast dominated the rivalry in the 1990s. Then it swung back to Manatee, and now we're in a little bit of a back and forth rebuilding era for both these programs. Manatee coming in tonight at 5-3 with their playoff hopes on the line, still ranked number 3 in Region 4, despite that loss last week to the title game to the Palmetto Tigers, who captured the 4S District 13 title on Joe Kinnan Field last week. But Manatee still ranked ahead of Palmetto in those power rankings based on the strength of schedule. Southeast not as fortunate this year, 1-7, but they have been playing a little bit better more recently. Their offense is still a little bit of a slump, but the defense looks to be coming around, Coach.
Yeah, defense has kept them in the game last week against Braden River. It was 16-7. Coach Brett Timmons, former Southeast player, he knows what this rivalry is all about.
Absolutely, and a lot of guys on both sides of the ball, on both sides of the field tonight, have played in this rivalry and know a little something about it. We're going to go ahead and take just a little bit of break up here in the booth as we see the flags and the color guard taking the field for the Southeast Seminoles, and we're going to cut for the national anthem.
We invite all alumni and Southeast football fans to rally behind your Seminole football team and band and be a part of this unforgettable season. Go Noles!
And here we go again. Great job by the Southeast band member up there. Solo performance, a cappella to give us the national anthem and the Southeast High School alma mater. So we are back now.
I don't think it's a cappella. I think that's without music.
Is that when you sing it?
Yeah.
I thought
without music.
The
That was
solo.
a
Solo.
It was a solo. Yes.
You're going to challenge me like math was last week.
Yeah, music
on my
is my
music
strength.
knowledge.
Music's my strong point. Everybody
Well,
knows that.
There we go. So, and you know, and we are joined also up in the press box by, again, the esteemed principal of Southeast High School, Miss Ginger Collins. Hello, Miss Collins. There it is. So,
Enjoying her food provided by the Shake Pit.
you got to
up here in
love
the press
that.
box.
I mean, Southeast
Debbie
High School
Crow.
pulling all the stops up. Debbie Crow from
Coach
the Shake
Meckley
Pit.
pulled the old dipsy-do and went right behind her back and got Shake Pit to sponsor your food.
Well, when your name is on the stadium,
And Miss Collins says it's delicious.
we can attest to that as well.
Thank you, Debbie.
And the Shake Pit. For all you guys have done over the years, over the decades, for high school football in Manatee County, we definitely appreciate it, and that appreciation is extended everywhere. As you see the captains getting set to take the field for both Southeast and Manatee. A lot of captains out there for the Seminoles tonight.
Senior night, they're all their seniors out
There
in
you
the
go.
secondary line of captains.
That's it. And we had the senior night introductions before this game. All the seniors from the band, the cheerleaders, the football program, color guard, they were all out there with their parents. Proud moment for all these Southeast Seminoles. And for the seniors tonight, you know, we heard a lot of them talk about their hallmark achievement during their high school career, and it was that victory over Manatee High School just a couple of years ago when this senior class were sophomores beating Manatee in the latest installment of this rivalry. So tonight is going to be their last chance to get another one against Manatee, and it's going to be a tall task. We talked about Southeast coming into this ball game. While they have improved over the last several weeks, no doubt about it, they are still coming into this game with a 1-7 record, and really tonight it's all about playing for pride. While Manatee, again, they've got a 5-3 record. Their postseason is very much alive as they rank number 3 in the region right now behind Venice, and I'm missing the other team that they're behind at number 2, but that's okay. They're ahead of Palmetto, who's now 4, despite Palmetto taking out Manatee last week.
I think
they
it's
get
Gulf,
that guarantee.
Naples Gulf Coast. I
Gulf
believe.
Coast, there you go. All right, so, and there we go with
Yeah, that's a strange
the toss.
tweak in the system, which I don't like, is that both teams could end up 6-3, Manatee and Palmetto, and if they were to advance, Palmetto would have to travel as the district champ across the river again and play Manatee at home again.
Unbelievable. And Lakewood Ranch also still alive despite that last place finish in the same district, 4S13, also with a chance to be 6-3 as they have their final game of the season tonight as well. Southeast won the toss, and they're going to receive the football to start this game as soon as we are able to get the field cleared.
Kind of surprised they decided to take the ball and not defer. I think we talked about how their offense has struggled a little bit, and their defense has kind of carried them. I thought he would defer and let Manatee have the ball, and have the ball in the second half, put his defense on the field first. Coach Brett Timmons, that is. That's a little surprising that they decided to take it, or they want to see what the offense can do right away.
Or I'll say this, they're receiving, I think they won the toss. I wasn't able to see actually which shoulder pad got patted, but nonetheless, it looks like it's going to be Southeast to start that thing off. And there's your Southeast Seminoles with their black and orange uniforms on tonight. A week late for Halloween. I don't remember seeing that look for Southeast, but there you go. Normally we see that blue and orange. And here come your Manatee Hurricanes in the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, and we're going to apologize right off the bat if we get a Southeast number wrong. Those numbers are not real easy to see on the black jerseys. The announcers all over the country hate all these alternate jerseys, I think.
You know, and I try to get like visual aids to help me out. There's nothing out there. Just my old eyes aren't going to get it done. I've come to that conclusion now that we're really at the end of our season here. This is the final broadcast of the MSTV Game of the Week for the football season. So we're gonna carry this thing out. We're unfortunately not going to have any postseason games. But just a reminder that this MSTV broadcast is a partnership between the television station, Manatee Schools Television, and also the home team's TV and production class. And this week at Southeast, they are the home team. It's Miss Amanda Clark's class. And I've got a whole host of Seminoles here, Coach, to go through before we get to this opening kickoff here. And I want to give them one quick shout out. We've got William Ailes, Nish Patel, Mario Octaviano, Caden Kitchie, Allie Lowry, Nick Severino, Jadarian Burke, Remus Hornsby, Ivan Alaman, Parth Tripathi, Jose Aguiar Mancera, and Nathan Ruprecht. Thank you, guys, and we'll get those names dropped on you one more time. We could not do these broadcasts without the students and without the TV production help, so, again, we appreciate that and love that partnership. And we're getting set to tee this thing off as the Hurricanes and Joey Colonesso set to kick deep to the Seminoles. And here comes that kickoff by Colonesso, putting that toe to leather, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 6-yard line. And Southeast is going to start this thing off with pretty good field position, Coach.
Yeah, great field position. 35 will start it out. And
the Seminoles are going to have that ball spotted out at the 30-yard line.
35.
Or 35-yard line, excuse me. And for the Seminoles starting tonight at quarterback, number 8, Tarquez Thomas, is going to be your starter, the junior quarterback. Got 188 yards so far on the year.
Thomas is quarterback.
And we got the Southeast player in a little jet sweep motion, slips down on the field. He's going to be stopped or brought down actually for a little bit of a loss. Touchdown for a little bit of loss back at the 32-yard line.
yeah, it's actually a little pop pass. It counts as in the passing stats. He flips the ball up in front of him and lets the guy in motion grab the ball and try to get outside. But he tried to plant his foot and cut upfield and fell down. Looked like it was 24, Jacoby Mobley. I think that's who it was. I'm not sure the number.
Freshman is also going to see time on defense, and that right there is Cameron Perkins, the receiver, also plays on defense as well, but that time he gets a positive gain for the Seminoles out to the 38-yard line, and that's going to bring up 3rd down now and 7 to go for the Seminoles.
I think it was actually Corey Clay on that carry, number 7.
Oh, I thought it was 1. There you go with the numbers and the dark jerseys again.
And there he goes.
There's 7 right there. There's Clay. And Clay breaking into the secondary of the Hurricanes. And he'll take that ball inside the 35-yard line in a big first down play on the opening drive for Southeast. A nice move on that right side, Coach, to wiggle past the initial line of defense for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, it was good blocking. Good job on the right tackle. He gets outside, and the linebacker misses the tackle, and Clay gets in the backfield. Good acceleration there. He gets brought down by, looks like, number 23. Deron Jean makes the tackle downfield for a big gain.
And Christian Johnson had a shot at him right there, just around the sticks, but he wasn't able to bring him down. So it's going to be now 1st down and 10.
And we got a penalty on Manatee, and it looks like we're moving up 5 yards.
Southeast on the move inside the 30, now the 29-yard line. 1st down and 5. And Thomas hands that ball off, and that's going to be Cecil Crawford with the carry for a couple of yards.
Yeah, made a nice cut there. It was defensive lineman right in the hole. I couldn't see who it was. I think it was Big 99. He made a cut and just got it back to the line of scrimmage. Could have been a loss on that play.
Pick him up a yard. 2nd down and 4 now. And the mesh point is attacked that time by the Hurricane defense and brought down in the backfield.
Ladarius Thomas came upfield and just blew that up. He was in the backfield. Good penetration, made the play.
That's his 6th stop behind the line of scrimmage on the year so far for Thomas, an active linebacker for the Hurricanes. 3rd down.
3rd and 9 now. Southeast is yet to put the ball in the air. It'll be interesting to see if they stay on the ground here.
From the 33. Thomas out of the gun. He'll throw. Under pressure, gets the ball off, and that looks to be complete. Inside the 25-yard line to the 22-yard line. 1st down for the Seminoles.
A little curl flat. Looked like a
Ryan
slant.
Simmons, it looks like, on the reception, number 13 for the Seminoles. And Southeast keeping that opening drive alive.
They're going no huddle. They're going a little quicker.
That time the carry is to Perkins. And he'll be brought down for no gain, maybe a loss on the play.
Yeah.
Ian Johnson Kelly on the stop for the Hurricanes, another active defender for Manatee.
Yeah, we'll be calling his name a lot. He's one of the best defensive linemen in the area. He's only a sophomore. He impacts the run game, the pass game. You got to know where he is at all times.
Second down, Thomas with the pass. And it's complete out to the flats on the right side. And that's number 15 for the Seminoles. And that's Sosa, Joniel Sosa.
Darren Jean on the tackle again. They're in the running a little curl flat. That time he threw the ball on the arrow to the flat. Getting Manatee in cover 3, going fast, and then just running a little curl flat.
Thomas again passing, and he's got a receiver again at the 15-yard line, caught. And once again, that was Ryan Simmons on the reception. He's going to be shy of a first down by a couple of yards still.
They're going to go for it, I believe. In this game, he doesn't want to settle for field goals.
Well, here we go, fourth down.
Touchdowns to win this.
4th down and 3. And Thomas with the handoff, and he's got room off the right side. And Cecil Crawford with the carry and the first down for the Seminoles inside the 10-yard line. Flag down on the field.
Yeah, we got holding right on the edge.
That's what sprung him.
I didn't see the number, but yeah, got him outside.
And indeed, that's the call, holding against Southeast. And critical first down. That's going to be 4th down and a country mile now to go.
Now they're going to try
13.
Now they're going to try a field goal, it looks like. And now they're going to be going for a long distance. Not an automatic field goal either. Ball's moving back. The ball's going to be placed about the. Wow, they might be punting it from there. It's going to be a 45-yarder if he kicks field goal.
Yeah, the long on the year so far for field goal kicker Giovanni Avellaneda is 27 yards. So this will be by far the longest field goal of the year. Only 2 for 6 on field goals for the entire year.
And you wonder if maybe they don't have a fake field goal that they may be trying to pull off here, because this looks like a low percentage shot here. It's going to be kicking from the right hash from 44 yards.
And Deuce Styles with the hold gets it down. And Avellaneda, that kick is just short. On target, but it's going to fall short in the end zone, and Manatee's going to take over 1st down and 10 from that spot.
Yeah, I'll get the ball to 20 now on the touchback. The ball goes in the end zone.
And that was a really nice drive, though, Coach. It might have wound up with no points on the field and just short on that field goal attempt, but you got to give credit to Southeast, an offense that has struggled all year long, averaging under 7 points a game, and they take that opening drive and run it right down Manatee's throat. A couple nice passes, and they almost get points.
Yeah, it was a great drive. You can't, you have to play clean. You're playing a good opponent, and that holding penalty, you just called it back, but you're not going to be able to overcome those. Coach Timmons knows they got to play clean. They don't get the holding penalty there. They have a chance of maybe scoring.
And here go the Hurricanes on offense. Andrew Heidel brought down in the backfield. Outstanding penetration that time.
That was just a straight quarterback sweep, it looked like, out of the shotgun. Design run, trying to get him outside. It's number 12 on the play for Southeast.
No 12 on the roster.
Now Manatee puts himself way behind the chains here. Second.
And there's another bad snap. And we talked about Heidel picking that up. He's going to be brought down at the 1-yard line where his knee went down. And, Coach, we've seen that bad snap not just last week against Palmetto. We've seen it all year long, the shotgun snap from center.
Yeah, we saw it 4 or 5 times against Lakewood Ranch. We saw it 4 or 5 times last week. It's been consistent, always to the left, to the quarterback's left, like that one was there. They got to get that correct, or they got to go under center. You can't be giving away that many snaps in a game.
And this is exactly what led to points in that first game, in that game against Lakewood Ranch. After 3 consecutive bad snaps, the ball was placed at the 1-yard line, and then the last one resulted in points.
And they're going to go from the gun again here in the end zone. They get a good snap this time.
And Corey Sanders with a handoff that time gets a little bit of running room out past the 5 down to the 7-yard line. But that's going to be a long distance 4th down. And Manatee's going to send on their punting unit, and Colonesso takes the field again.
And this is a dangerous spot to punt from. When you're snapping the ball from the 5-yard line, the punter's 1 yard away from the back end line. Got to get a good snap, and you got to protect. I'm sure Southeast is going to come after it. Brett Timmons will probably come after this punt and try to put some pressure on him.
Cameron Perkins back to receive the punt, standing at the Hurricane 40-yard line. And Colin Esso's got that short drop in the end zone.
Well, he's a sidewinder. He'll step sideways anyway and kind of rugby kick it. Oh, he almost dropped the snap.
And that ball's going to hit right just shy of the 40-yard line, take a little bit of a hurricane bounce to the 45 and trickle out of bounds. And Southeast is going to set up shop in outstanding field
43.
position.
They get the ball at the 43 of Manatee and having a little success in that last drive. They got to be feeling real good right now. They're out there and going to go out there and try to keep running it down their throat.
And they did a little bit of a nice mix-up job on offense that last time. They got a few good passes that were needed, especially to convert third downs. And this quarterback change so far paying off for Southeast on that opening drive.
Yeah, I love the tempo Southeast is using. Coach Timmons is going fast, and it's to me, I just enjoy watching the game more when you're not using up every second of the play clock on every play.
Twins to the left, twins to the right, and that ball's going to be handed off that time. Crawford with room out inside the 40-yard line and down to the 37-yard line. Nice pickup on first down.
There's Corey Clay on the carry.
Was that
number
7?
7, yes.
Woo,
You're have a hard
7 and 2.
time with the numbers today.
This is going to be a real difficult time.
The black jerseys coming back to haunt us.
Well, then let's give credit where credit is due. Corey Clay, nice pickup off the right side. Second down. And that time Clay trips just about the 35-yard line, and they're going to spot that just inside the 35-yard line. Third down, he had that first down.
Yeah, he had room for at least 5-10 more yards there as he was getting ready to bounce it outside, and he just tripped up. There was nobody there for the Manatee defense.
Second time we've seen a Southeast offensive player lose their footing out there, and now we've got a stoppage on the play. This is going to probably be against the offense, and indeed it is. So Southeast again. You know, you got a third down and 2 yards, just like on their opening drive. That penalty taking it back out of something that's manageable, and now that's going to be third down and long.
Yes. Yeah, like I said, they got to play a clean game against Manatee, and those kind of penalties are going to kill you. We talk about it every week. Pre-snap operational penalties and pre-snap penalties that drive coaches crazy. More so even in the holding. The holding penalties will happen if you're working hard. Sometimes you're going to get hung up on a guy and you're going to get holding or a face mask. Those things in football just happen. Aggressive penalties, coaches don't mind much about that. It's the mental mistakes, the false starts, the delayed games. Those are the penalties. 12 men on the field, those kind of things that can be avoided. There's really no excuse to have it.
And it's one thing to happen on first down, but to happen on third down, to happen on fourth down, to take points off the board for potential conversions, that just becomes maddening. And here we go, third down and 7 now for the Seminoles, just inside the 40.
I'm assuming it's going to be 2-down territory here. If he doesn't get this, I think he could run the ball here and then have a fourth down play. I don't think he'll try another long field goal. We saw that his kicker's leg probably not going to be kicking a field goal from out here, so I think it's safe to say this is probably 4-down territory, and that could affect the play calling. He may decide to run a little draw here or something like that.
Big down for the Seminoles and the Manatee defense. And off the right side that time, and that time it is Cecil Crawford with the carry out to the right side, and he's going to be close to that first down. It looks like he's going to be spotted just past it. That looks to be a first down. Let's see where they spot the ball.
I think they're marking it just short of the first down from the far side. They may have to measure this. No, they gave it to him. First down.
And there it is, first down and 10 for Southeast.
Good run.
Southeast Seminoles keeping that second drive now alive after the first one stalled out.
Southeast receivers doing a good job blocking on the perimeter, turning some of these 2-3 yard runs into 10, 12 yard runs.
Crawford in the backfield behind Thomas. 4 wide receivers again in the ball game for Southeast, and that handoff goes to Crawford, and he'll be stacked up in the backfield. Ian Johnson Kelly, the first on the scene there for the Hurricanes, and that looks to be maybe a loss, but perhaps they got back to the line of scrimmage on that. Let's see the spot. And it's going to be a little bit of a loss.
Ian Johnson Kelly again, and Ladarius Thomas in there. Didn't get in on a tackle, but a lot of penetration, blew up the play, and then Kelly cleaned it up, and it looks like they lost a yard on the play.
Second down and 11. Thomas with the shotgun snap, looking to throw that ball deep. He's got a man single coverage off the left side. Contact, no flag. And that's going to bring up now third down and 11 to go for the Seminoles. And like you said before, Coach, they're not in what you would consider field goal range by any stretch of the imagination on their own 34-yard line right now. They might be able to get into field goal range without picking up this first down. So let's see what happens here on this play. Third down.
They've been running a little curl flat. That time it looks like they ran curl wheel and took a shot at the wheel.
Corey Clay in the backfield. He'll go out and route, and that ball's going to be at the sideline, and they're going to catch that. They're going to mark that as a catch. Outstanding grab along the sidelines.
It'll be 4th and 3.
And that looks like it was
Number
Corey
15. 15 had the catch.
15?
Yep.
That's Sosa again with that reception. So outstanding grab, and 4th down and manageable now for the Seminoles, 4th and 3. Ooh. And that time Manatee with outstanding penetration in the backfield. Boy, that looked like it might have been Jerron Hill. Tough to tell who got in there that quick.
And number 5 linebacker for Manatee.
Montez McDowell.
Montez McDowell was in there too. There was a lot of guys in there. I'm not sure if maybe Southeast going fast and someone on the offensive line didn't get the snap count or play right. And it looked like there were some missed assignments there. And a whole bunch of leakage on that left side of the Southeast offensive line on that play.
So the Southeast first drive of the night ends with a missed field goal attempt, and their second drive after, again, not very far, but nice conversions on that drive, and it ends in a 4th down turnover, and Manatee takes over at the 30-yard line. 1st down and 10. Out of the shotgun again is Heidel. Let's watch those snaps. This time it's going to be a handoff to Sanders. Sanders tries that right side. He's got some running room, keeps those legs churning, and picks up a nice chunk of yards out there.
Yeah, looks like he got about 3 yards on it, just going straight ahead, running
Looked like he
inside
broke out of
zone.
That pack a little bit more, but they're going to give him, like you said, 4 yards. So that's going to bring up 2nd down now and 6 for the Hurricanes from the 34-yard line.
Well, compressed formation here, which usually means you're going to run some sort of an out cut.
And there it is. Little flare out.
Keith Smith.
And Keyshawn Smith, outstanding job getting past the sticks. Flag down on the field at the 40-yard line. Let's check the laundry. But in the meantime, it looks like we got a Hurricane 1st down. Let's check the penalty.
Well, Hurricane offensive lineman's helmet came off. I'm assuming that's going to be hands to the face by someone on Southeast in order for that helmet to come off. But he doesn't have to go out since there was a penalty. He can stay in the game if that's the call.
Well, allowing him to stay on the field would probably be a good indicator. And the fact that his helmet's missing, of course.
Yes. Once again, the good news is his head wasn't in it.
Face mask on that personal foul, not just the hands to the face, but grabbing, twisting, and pulling on that face mask. And that's a big penalty, 15 yards tacked on to the end of that run.
And this is what you see usually in a team that's 1-7. Is even when they came out and so far tonight they've outplayed Manatee, the penalties have cost them on offense and defense now.
Good points, Coach. Both sides of the ball, big penalties. Now it looked like that would have been good enough for a 1st down. Nonetheless, though, 15 yards and now into Southeast territory. A little movement up front, no flag, and Heidel's going to keep that ball.
Yeah, it's a little.
He'll be brought down. I don't know what that extracurricular out there. Did he lose that ball?
Quarterback power there with a read.
Is that
on the jet sweep.
Nope, that was Heidel.
Still. They had a jet sweep coming here to the nub on the wide side of the field with the 3 receivers into the boundary, and he was reading that defensive end, and he pulls it out of the read sweep and runs the power. Gets 3 yards.
Got a few yards on that. 2nd down and 7 now for Southeast. There they go get that.
Talking to the Manatee coaches, they really thought they could run the ball, and they wanted to run the ball, and they're making a conscious effort to do that tonight.
From the 38, Heidel out of the gun, looks to throw. Heidel under pressure, and he'll go down. Outstanding defense that time. Number 3 for the Southeast Seminoles.
Right in the face.
And that's
right in the face of Heidel.
Michael Gibson. That's Michael Gibson with the pressure that time for the Seminoles. All over Andrew Heidel. Let's take one more look at it. And that ball's going to be marked all the way back to the 48-yard line. And we've got 3rd down and a long way to go for the Hurricanes. About 3rd down and 15. Smith and Sanders in the backfield behind Heidel. 3 wide receivers in the game. Smith goes out in motion, handled. Heidel's looking to throw it, but he's under pressure again, and he gets out of it, goes down. Again, outstanding defense by Michael Gibson once again. And that Southeast defense throwing Manatee back to their own side of the field.
And we got a flag,
down.
and we got a flag, and it might not be 4th down. It might be getting a 1st down here.
Let's check this laundry again.
If it's after the play, it could be dead ball and it would still be 4th down. If it's during the play, could be an automatic 1st down.
And we talked about Southeast so far being bit by that penalty bug.
And the Manatee offensive line having all kinds of problems with the pass rush from Southeast.
It's a dead ball face mask, it looks like.
Michael Gibson cleaned up the sack, but he wasn't the first one in there. There was a couple other guys got there before him. Heidel made 2 guys miss and kept retreating, and then Gibson got the big loss on the sack. But Southeast front just causing all kinds of problems for the Manatee offensive line.
Now here you go, Southeast offense averaging under 7 yards or 7 points a game. That penalty gets it down to the 44-yard line. Is it tempting enough for you to go for this now, Coach, rather than punt it? You got that offense still out on the field, looks like.
It looks like they are. They're going for it.
So you're going to have 4th down and 12, maybe 11 to 12 yards here?
Yeah, maybe they'll just try to draw them off sides. That's a long ways to go for it. When I say that, it'll probably work, but I think I'd be kicking it, trying to pin it deep, and trying to flip the field here and get some good field position next possession.
Well, here we go. The Southeast fans getting it noisy, and Heidel's got plenty of time that time. Fires it deep, nobody home, and Southeast is going to take over at that 44-yard line. And really, it looked like a miscommunication there, Coach. No receiver anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, Southeast was back in coverage. They had 6 guys back in, 7 guys back in coverage. They had everything covered. He was just throwing it away, I think.
You bring up a good point. That's 12 yards to go. Not a lot of success for Manatee so far. Their greatest offensive weapon so far is the penalty flag. And you've been playing this game so far on your side of the field, and that was a great chance to flip it.
Great chance to pin them down there deep, or maybe maybe Southeast fumbles the punt return or something. Make them kick the ball down there and try to pin them deep, but they decided to go for it, and it looked like it was basically a Hail Mary like you would see at the end of a half. He was just kind of throwing it up, figuring if they intercept it, it's better than a punt.
And like we talked about, Southeast averaging fewer than 7 points a game, so maybe that plays into the rationale, despite Southeast moving the football here in this ball game so far.
That's true, but when you keep giving teams, even offenses that are struggling, you keep giving the ball at the 50 or inside the 50, eventually you're going to give up points.
We've got Corey Clay coming on late for the Seminoles. We've got a
new
small bunch.
New quarterback in for Southeast.
Obaseki. And Obaseki with the carry out to the right side. He's going to get a couple of yards past the 45, out to about that 47-yard line. So a little bit of change of pace for Southeast with a new quarterback, Nate Obaseki. Or Noah Obaseki, excuse me.
We got both teams, it seems like, will be using multiple quarterbacks. It's kind of rare to see in week 11 that they haven't settled, the team hasn't settled on a quarterback. They're all 4 of them underclassmen. So
2nd down and about 8. And Crawford off that right or left side that time, and he'll be strung out and brought down by the Manatee defense. And that looks like it was Ladarius Thomas once again for Manatee making the stop. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 6 to go for Southeast.
A great play by Thomas. He ran it inside out, ran that down. Crawford was trying to get to the corner, and Manatee linebacker had too much speed, ran him down for a short gain.
That ball spotted at the 48-yard line. And Southeast looking to the
sideline.
sideline.
We're letting the quarter run out here. We're going to go to the 2nd quarter.
And that's going to do it. We are scoreless from Paul Meckley Field at John Piker Memorial Stadium. It's the Canes 0 and the Knowles 0 after that 1st quarter. We'll be right back after these messages from the School District of Manatee County.
Start a great future with the School District of Manatee County. Apply now at manateeschools.net/careers.
Welcome back to the start of the second quarter. Southeast, and Obaseki drifts one, floats it over the middle that time, and caught by Corey Clay. And Clay is going to pick up a little bit and inch that Southeast offense closer to a first down. They're going to be about 3 yards shy of the yard to gain. Ball spotted just inside that midfield stripe.
Yeah, a little screen there. Might have called it over the line of scrimmage. It was questionable. But number 14 came up from the linebacker position. We have number 14 on the Manatee roster. I don't have him on my list.
Let's see here. We've got Elijah Perry, 14.
Okay, Elijah Perry, linebacker. He came up, made a nice tackle there.
Well, he's listed as a quarterback, so take it for what it's worth. And there's the play for Southeast, riding up the middle, and Manatee defense is stout and up to the task, and they are going to hold Southeast to no gain on the play. Fourth down coming up for the Seminoles.
That was fourth.
That was fourth. But that was third. Well, it shows you what I know. Oh, how about that? First down for Manatee then. So again, Southeast turning it over on downs.
The Manatee defense really picking up for the offense there when they didn't move the ball last time, and now they give them great field position at the 50. Manatee a little tight bunch formation here.
Squitieri now in the game for Manatee, and that handoff is to Corey Sanders, and Sanders powers his way ahead for about 7 yards inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line. Second down and 3, excuse me. So nice run on first down that time by Sanders, who's had a couple of nice runs tonight.
Same formation, tight bunch to the wide side of the field.
And Johnny Squitieri with the snap, hands that ball off to Sanders. Sanders straight ahead, and he'll be ahead for that first down. It looks like they're going to give him forward progress across the line to gain and spot it near the 40-yard line.
Notice Manatee this year in the 2 games we've done previously, if they have success with a play sometimes, often they'll come right back, run it again. They did that quick, right back to the same formation, ran the same play, got 4 more yards and a first down.
And that ball now just inside the 42-yard line of the Seminoles. First down and 10. Squitieri in the shotgun. Sanders, and he'll get the hand. No, check that. Squitieri rolls out, keeps it, cuts it back in field, and Johnny Squitieri with a little bit of room on that right side. And Squitieri still on his feet and down inside the 15 or near the 15-yard line. Nice run by Johnny Squitieri, number 13.
Yeah, every time we see Manatee, Squitieri impresses me more and more with his athleticism, his ability to run, decision-making, and turn a bad play or a broken play into a positive play. There they run a little bootleg. There's no contain. He gets out there. All the coverage is running backwards. He sees defenders' backs, and he turns and runs.
And that's Mike Howard and a host of Hurricane defenders on the stop for Southeast. Jacoby Mobley as well. And Manatee setting up shop now at the 17-yard line. First down and 10. Kobe Keenan in motion, sets up in that H-back spot, handoff to Sanders, and Sanders goes ahead for maybe a pickup of about 2 yards. And so that pickup of, looks like maybe they're going to give him 3 on that. Going to bring up second down and 7. That ball spotted at the 14, so a 3-yard gain on first down.
That's basically just ISO. They bring Colby Keenan in motion into the backfield, an H-back there, and he just inserts between the guard and the tackle there, and they run straight behind him with Sanders, and they get about 3 yards.
And Keenan with a nice game last week receiving, caught a touchdown. Tough way to end it for him. Second down, Sanders going to be stopped in the backfield that time. Outstanding penetration by Myron Lowe, the Southeast freshman defender. And that's going to bring up third down now, and a loss on that play takes it all the way back, a loss of 2. Third down and 9 for the Canes.
Yeah, Myron Lowe's the son of Myron Lowe that played for Southeast. His uncle Michael Lowe played. So his dad and his uncle both played in this rivalry. Myron had a big pick against Manatee in the 95 game in the rainstorm.
The rain game here?
In the rain game.
Yeah.
He had a big pick on a slant right down in that corner there.
Yeah, we were talking about that game before the start of this game tonight. Unforgettable.
I believe he had a pick 6.
Speed Squitieri, he reads it, he keeps it. Squitieri still on his feet, weaves his way, flag on the field, and Johnny Squitieri momentarily inside the 5-yard line. let's once again see what's going on with that flag.
Once again, Squinteri's his ability to make people miss and athleticism is impressive.
And that was a great job, not just reading the play and keeping that ball, but weaving his way back and forth through some traffic in there.
It was speed option. They were overplaying it. He just kind of turned upfield and made a big play. We got offsetting penalties here.
Okay.
Got holding on Manatee and the face mask on Southeast on the tackle. So we'll go back and play it over again.
And that's going to wipe out that nice run by Squiteri and bring up 3rd down and 9 once again for the Hurricanes. So not the worst thing in the world for Southeast. It looked like at first they were going to get hit with that 15-yard penalty and set Manatee up with a 1st and goal, but it's offsetting, and it's 3rd down and 9 to go.
I'd watch for the big tight end here. They like to go to him down in the red zone. There it is.
Squiteri, there it is. Kobe Keenan with a catch. Kobe Keenan down to the 2-yard line. 1st down and goal for Manatee. Outstanding throw and outstanding catch.
Yeah, I had just said it. This is where they like to go to him when they get down in the red zone. They usually will look for him. He's got a good catch radius. He goes up and catches the ball. He's got nice hands. He's 6'7". We got another flag. It's turning into last week's game now.
Again, nice grab by Keenan. Double clutch that ball, able to control it and bring it in, but here we go. Illegal man downfield. And that's going to bring it back, spot that ball at the 21-yard line, and now it's going to be 3rd down and 14.
That's I don't understand that. It wasn't a RPO. There was no, I don't understand how you get downfield on that. It was a
miscommunication by the offensive lineman. And Manatee keeps on getting cracks at this 3rd down. The first 2 from 9 yards out, this one from 14 yards out. Let's see if they got a little magic left in them. Squiteri out of the gun. He'll roll it left. Squiteri under pressure. Fires to the end zone. Got a receiver in the end zone.
Got another flag.
Ramsey Cole. And another flag down on the field.
Great throw. Rolling to his left.
Or was that not Ramsey Cole? That looked like it was Jaquiz Randall. Was that 8?
I think it was 7 on the catch.
Then it was Ramsey Cole.
I don't know. I can't see.
It looked like 7. And again, Manatee with their 4th straight penalty on a 3rd down conversion. That one takes a touchdown off the board.
What a great throw. It's a shame. Rolling to his left, opposite side, gets his shoulders turned, throws a great corner route, put the ball right on the money for a touchdown, and it's coming back. Looks like they didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage maybe, or some illegal formation. It's the only thing I can guess.
I kept looking for that replay. Didn't see the call coming from the official, but that ball still spotted at it's at the 26. It was a 5-yard penalty.
It came from the linesman on the southeast sideline, and it looked like maybe they didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage, and that's what the call was.
3rd down and 19 now. Was once 3rd down and 9, then became 3rd down and 14. Now it's 3rd down and 19 from the 26. And you got to think that Manatee's going to run out of plays here pretty quick to convert this 3rd down attempt for the 5th time.
Yeah, how many plays can you expect Squinteri to make on 3rd down in a row?
And we've got 3 men setting up on the field side, or excuse me, on the boundary, and that's going to be a timeout for Manatee, and they're going to talk this thing over. Go through the playbook and see what you can dial up on a 3rd down and 19 to go.
They may be looking to just run the ball here and get it a little closer for a field goal, maybe into the middle of the field.
Well, Joey Colonesso's long field goal attempt on the year is only 26 yards, so not a lot of distance out of his leg so far. 3 of 5 on the year for Colonesso. You'd like to get that ball at least, 10 yards closer, maybe to get a solid attempt for that field goal. In Southeast, they had their host of issues. We talked about the Southeast offense getting penalties on their first drive, then unable to convert after getting penalties on their 4th down conversions, and now Manatee with penalty after penalty after penalty. 5 straight. And the Manatee offense coming out of that timeout, gets set. Squiteri getting everybody in place.
I think they got 12 men on the field. Manatee has 12 on the field, I believe.
Jaquiz Randall
and
running
there's
off
one
now.
run off. That could be a. If they didn't huddle, I guess it can't be an illegal man in the huddle.
And we got a little bit of a false start there, and there goes your 6th straight penalty flag on 3rd down.
It was a right tackle there, number 70, Xavier McKinney, the big right tackle, was at least one of them.
I'm an old man, Coach. I've been watching football for a long time. I'm not sure I've seen 6 straight plays with a penalty. And so
I don't think I ever have either, even last week.
this is kind of amazing. So now your 3rd down and 19 becomes 3rd down and 24. I'm getting better at math, at least when I can count by 5s.
Keep it in increments of 5, you're okay, right?
I got all my fingers. 3rd down and 24 from the 31-yard line, and Squitieri looking downfield, and he's going to be brought down. Nice job that time of the Southeast defense at number 12 for the Southeast Seminoles. And I'm looking for that number, and I don't have a 12 again on my roster. So we'll just give credit to that Southeast defense. And Southeast going to take over at their, Manatee's 4th down. They're going to punt it.
Yeah, different approach. Manatee is going to go ahead and do what we talked about. Try to punt and pin them deep rather than
I think
go
this is
for
the
it.
smart call. It's just too far for a field goal. You know, we talked about Colin Esso is long of the year so far, 26 yards. So
you don't have 4th and 30 plays. So I think it's a good call to punt. Try to pin them inside. Even if it goes in the end zone, you're going to pick up 13 yards of field position. So I would do that in a heartbeat.
Colin Esso, little wobbler end over end, and it's going to take a bounce. Manatee bounce, but too far and travel in the end zone. And boy, it looked like Manatee had an opportunity to cover that ball inside the 5, but it kept rolling.
The gunner was down there. I don't know why he just let it go.
Interesting.
Didn't even make an attempt to knock it back out. But the Southeast return man did a good job. He kind of
got in the way,
boxed him out.
Yeah, exactly. I think he ran some interference on him there.
But
which you're allowed to do as a return man.
Yeah, but you're also allowed to get run over while you're doing that.
Well, as it stands, though, he allowed that ball to trickle into the end zone.
Yeah, that's a good effort by him.
And there we see a little live cut in. Pirates versus Pirates. That game originally scheduled for down in Port Charlotte with Port Charlotte Pirates home stadium, but now it's at the Braden River Pirates home stadium. And that game is for the district championship.
That's right.
And there we go. Southeast. Thomas's pass is high, and Thomas back in the game at quarterback.
Little high. It did hit the receiver in the hands. I thought he had a chance to catch that. Sometimes the ball is going to be thrown high. You have to throw it high over linemen, over linebackers. It's not always going to be a clean play.
Looked like Simmons, the intended receiver on that pass. 2nd down and 10 for the Seminoles. Trips to the bottom of your screen. Low snap, Thomas fields it. Thomas going to take off with that ball, still looking downfield, tucks it, and DeMontez McDowell's going to drop him at the 26-yard line. 3rd down. Nice pickup by Thomas, but short.
Good play by the quarterback. He didn't see anybody open, pull it down, get a positive play out of it, get a manageable 3rd down instead of a 3rd and 10. Now you're looking at 3rd and 4. No risk involved there. It was a good play by the.
And I like the way he kept his eyes downfield even after he passed the line of scrimmage, kind of freezing McDowell a little bit so he couldn't close in on him.
And he hasn't played a lot this year, so this is a young quarterback. He's a junior, but most of the time the other quarterback played, so he doesn't have a lot of experience.
Tight bunch to the field, and that time Thomas is going to look downfield. Got a man with a step, and that time overthrown. Intended for number 4 that time, Noah Obaseki, the other guy that was in there at quarterback. Is that Obaseki? No. That looked like his hair, but that looks like his number.
I think it's 9.
Is that a 9?
Yeah, it's Tony Edwards.
Okay, that
number
was
9, Tony Edwards. Once again, the numbers are getting us.
Yeah, that looked like a 4. It still looks like a 4. He's right in front of me.
Yeah, it's Tony Edwards. His dad, T.J. Edwards, played for Raymond Woody at Bayshore when I was coaching over at Bayshore. Actually, his dad played Division II football, was a great football player. Played on that Bayshore team that beat Manatee at Bayshore back in 2003.
Giovanni Avellaneda on now to punt it. And back deep, Bon Bean. And it looks like Keyshawn Smith for the Hurricanes. And that ball's going to go straight up. Avellaneda's punt. And it's going to take a nice bounce, but it goes right to the Southeast defender. That could have picked up a lot of extra yards. Looked like it almost just hit him.
Yeah,
couldn't get out of the way.
With back-to-back punts where we didn't see the Gunners didn't do a very good job down in the ball that time. He could have stepped out of the way and let that ball go another 10 yards
Easy
downfield.
10 yards in it. But as it is, they're going to spot that ball around the 45-yard line, and that's where Manatee's going to take over, 1st down and 10. And we are still scoreless, 6:29 left to go in the 2nd quarter from Paul Meckley Field at Kiker Memorial Stadium. you would expect with Manatee coming into this game at 5-3 with a playoff berth on the line. Southeast 1-7, and they are scrapping tonight. Would have expected maybe not such a tight game.
No, it's been a good effort by Southeast. Like I said earlier, I'd say, if you had to pick, I'd say Southeast so far has outplayed them.
I would agree.
Outplayed Manatee, if not for the penalties. And then Manatee started to make some plays, and then they turned around and made the penalties. So.
And twins, the top twins at the bottom of your screen. Squitieri still in the game for Manatee.
Speed option.
And Keyshawn Smith gets that option toss, and Smith with a little bit of room off that left side. Keyshawn Smith spins his way out near the first down marker. He's got a first down for Manatee, and that's going to be spotted near the 47-yard line. First down and 10, Manatee.
Yeah,
nice run by Smith.
Nice run by Smith. Good blocking by the Manatee offense. Quarterback, good read, good pitch. Executed nicely.
And Manatee hurries back up to that line of scrimmage. A little bit of tempo. Trips to the bottom of your screen. And that handoff's going to go to Smith again. Tries the right side. Smith, nice move. And Smith cuts it back up inside and across the 40 down to near the 35-yard line. And he's going to be a couple of yards shy of the first down. 8 yards on first down. Another look at that shot from Smith.
The Manatee offensive line looks like they came out with a little bit more energy this drive. I'm sure they got an earful over there on the sideline after all the penalties in the last drive.
Well, here they are right back near that same area where their last drive ended. This time they got a first down and 10 at the 35. And Squitieri's going to throw that ball deep. He's got a man open there, Bon Bean, and Bean into the end zone. It's dropped. And that looked like it was right in Bon Bean's breadbasket.
Yeah, I don't know if the defender got a hand in there or not. Looked like it was going to be caught for a second. Defender then trying to recover, get back there. He had a couple of steps on him, and he had leverage to the outside. It was a good ball by Squitieri.
And that's going to be now third down for Manatee. Just about 2 yards to go. Toss this time to Smith again, left side. Smith has got some room, and a tackle averted, and Smith is going to get that first down to the 25-yard line. Another nice run by Keyshawn Smith.
Another 10 yards, and he just ran toss. Big number 6, Colby Keenan out there. Great block on the toss. The H-back coming out and just destroyed the defensive back out there. And Keyshawn Smith was able to cut underneath that and get a 10-yard gain.
And Manatee now on the move after that third down conversion from the 25-yard line. First down and 10, 5:03 and counting to go in the second quarter. And Smith tries up the middle, tests the left side. Smith with room on the left side, out of bounds after a pickup of 5 yards on first down around the 20.
He might have had more than 5 there. It looks like he's marking
6. I'll give him 6. How's that sound, Coach?
Looks good.
Yeah, we'll call that second down and 4. But again, nice running by Keyshawn Smith, who seems to now be getting the bulk of the carries the last 2 drives.
And we're seeing no more of the penetration we saw from the Southeast front earlier in the game. Looks like the Manatee offensive line is starting to kind of catch their rhythm now and starting to have their way with the Southeast front.
And Squitieri's going to keep this ball, but nice penetration that time by Southeast, and it's Michael Gibson again in the backfield for the Seminoles, and a big loss on the play.
Yeah, just as I say that, and we get the penetration and a big loss, and put Manatee back behind the sticks again now.
I think Gibson heard you, Coach. I think he heard you. Got a little face full of mask, but he didn't grab onto it.
Receiver trying to block Gibson, and that's not going to work out for Manatee if they try to do that all night long.
And that ball back to the original line of scrimmage now, so that's going to bring up third down and 10 from the 25-yard line. A loss of 6 yards on that play, but the sack on Gibson. Squitieri from the gun, low snap, fields it. Squitieri looking downfield. Got a receiver, tip ball. Nice defense by the Seminoles.
Bean came up with it, but they said to hit the ground, so it's incomplete.
Jason Smith Jr., the sophomore linebacker, with a nice tip on that ball. That's the reason why it fell incomplete. He had a receiver open.
I think Squitieri had a chance to hit Colby Keenan going down the seam. Looked like he, to me, was popping open. But he tried to stick it in underneath a little dig route behind that. And linebacker got a hand on it, tipped it away.
And here we go, 4th down and 10 from the 25-yard line. And you'd think this is maybe where you want to try out Colonesso's leg.
It looks like the offense is going to talk it over and come up with an offensive play. I don't think they're going to try a field goal again from this distance. You're talking about a 42-yarder. I'm not sure if that's in his range. Last one came up short.
Well, that was Southeast field goal attempt.
Southeast field goal, that's right.
But nonetheless, when we talk about long field goals on the year, Colonesso's long is 26, Avellaneda long was 27. So both of them showing similar range. And this is it's a long field goal, no doubt. But you're talking about a 0-0 ball game, 3:19 to go in the half. Southeast really not moving the ball consistently.
Yeah, the average high school kicker is not going to make a 42-yard field goal. You get spoiled when you see good ones. And we saw Brandon Gonzalez last week who has that kind of range, but that's not normal.
And Coach Jacquez Green, he knows what his field goal kicker is made of. And
exactly.
He's going to go ahead and opt for the 4th down conversion, 4th down and 10 from the 25. You got trips to the top of your screen. Keenan set up at the bottom at the tight end spot. Keenan releasing downfield. He's looking to the trip side. Under pressure. Squatteri's under the heat, and he'll go down. And again, the Southeast defense on the spot.
I see Gibson was in there. I'm not sure who got him, number 12.
It looks like Jacoby Mobley also in there, number 24 for the Southeast Seminoles. And no matter how you slice it, no matter who got there, it's the orange and black taking over 1st down and 10. And again, outstanding defense by Southeast with penetration when they needed it most.
Yeah, 2 big plays are on 3rd and 4th down, or 2nd and 4th down. Getting penetration, getting negative plays, another sack for the Southeast defense.
Southeast hanging tough. A 1-7 ball club, a 5-3 ball club, but this is what rivalries are made of. Throw the records out.
They got 3:09 left in the first half here, so see if Southeast can do something here.
And DeMontez McDowell right in the backfield along with Ian Johnson Kelly, and Southeast going to suffer a huge loss on that play. They were swarmed on.
Yeah, the whole defense was back in the backfield there.
I saw Tyreek Robinson getting up there as well, big 99.
Elijah Perry was back in the backfield there. It was a big group of them. Lost 2 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 12.
Boy, that looked like a bigger loss than 2, but 2 it is. 2nd down and 12.
Manatee's wanting to stop here and try to get a 2-for-1 if they can get a score at the end of the half and get the ball coming out for the second half.
From the 34, 2nd down and 12. Thomas out of the gun. Toss to the sweep. And that, again, great penetration by that Hurricane defense. And Nate Schofield, number 90 in the backfield, getting it done. His 5th tackle for a loss on the year.
His dad's feeling proud over there right now.
I'm sure he is. Old Doug.
Doug does all the practice videos for Manatee with the drones and does so much with their equipment and helps out any way they need him.
Spotted at the 23-yard line, so that's going to bring up 3rd down and 18 to go.
Yeah, a little jet sweep on the flip pass there that Southeast tried twice has not worked for them tonight.
3rd down and 18, and Thomas is under heat again. Thomas rolls out to his right. He's going to keep that ball, cuts it back to the middle field. Thomas with room, block on the play in the back, no flag down, and Thomas close to that 1st down spot. He's going to be short, though, just inside the 40. They're going to mark him at the 38. Whoa. There was a push right in the back right there. No flag, though. And Southeast tempted on 4th down here. 4th down and 2. Are they going to go for this in their own territory?
Well, I can't understand why you would give the ball to Manatee if you don't make it inside the 40 with a minute left.
You're winning this ball game right now if you're Southeast. You're outplaying Manatee to this point.
Yes.
You got the ball at your own 34 line. You got to kick this thing away.
You got to kick it away. You got to kick it away and make them go 70 yards or even if it's a short kick, 60
which they
yards.
haven't done. Manatee has not been able to move this ball with any consistency throughout the ball game. You don't want to set them up shop just a 1st down or 2 outside of field goal. Well, we shouldn't say field goal range. But nonetheless, 39-yard line.
It's a huge momentum swing if they don't get that.
And with 1:14 left to go in the half, Southeast wouldn't
Looks
have
like
a lot of time on offense to move and matriculate that ball downfield.
It looks like they're going for it.
Oof. Let's see if they try to draw Manatee off sides here.
Yeah,
Remember,
that could be. They're getting under center. Maybe they're going to go quarterback sneak. Maybe they're just going to try to draw them off sides. But if you don't get this 1st down, that's a huge momentum swing. Manatee can get the ball, go in and score, and then get a second score on the start of the second half.
Thomas is going to pitch that ball, and Manatee's defense is up to the task, a loss on the play, and that call backfired as we thought it might, and Southeast gives it up, and Manatee's going to take over on their own 36, 37-yard line, first down and 10, with 1:14 to go in the half. And that's the real downside here. You're giving Manatee a short field with only 1:14 punted away. There's no way outside of a big play they're going to drive the length of the field based on what we've seen tonight.
Yeah, you got to make them earn it. I don't understand that. That's
But hey, when
maybe their defense can step up and stop them again. But if they don't, that's a terrible blow to a crowd and team that has played so well throughout the game.
Well, Southeast defense has been up to the task so far. Let's see if Manatee, who did move the ball somewhat on their last drive, and it looks like Heidel again and back in there. He's got a wide open receiver that time, and that's Ramsey Cole. Ramsey Cole with a nice move down to the 20-yard line, and that's going to be good enough for Hurricane first down on first down. Minute 5 to go in the half.
Clock stops to move the chains. I think he was down, so they're lining up. They're ready to go as soon as he started up. It's at 1:05 right now, and they just start it, and they spike it.
That clock stopped now with 1:02, and that spike is going to bring up second down and 10 for the Hurricanes. And so Manatee, just like that, down to the 22-yard line, one play after taking over on downs.
I don't know if I would spike it there. I think you can have a second play call.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You're wasting it down right there. You still got 1:02 left to go, and you got timeouts in your back pocket.
Yeah, and you haven't proven to be a great field goal team yet. So I'm it's not something you might take your 4 downs to get it in there.
From the 21-yard line, second down and 10. Heidel out of the gun.
Watch the big tight end down here.
And
number 6.
Another snap, this time over the head of Heidel. He's going to pick that ball up and be dragged. Whoa, he's not got out of that. And Heidel could not get rid of the ball. Back at the 40-yard line, and the shotgun snap rears its ugly head again for Manatee.
They should call timeout here, and they do.
47 seconds left to go in the half.
Maybe Coach Timmons knew that was coming. That's why he went for it on 4th down.
Well, you can kind of count on one thing in these games that we've seen Manatee play so far. Penalty flags flying and shotgun snaps sailing.
Yes.
And that's twice now in this ball game. And, we talked with the coaching staff. We're talking with Coach Tripp Allen, the offensive coordinator, before this game, specifically about those shotgun snaps. It's been a point of emphasis for them based on what's transpired in these games down the stretch this year, and they still can't get it straight. They are starting, a sophomore center, and he's trying to learn that task and become more consistent at that trade. But as it is right now in these games, it's costing them points, and it's costing them possessions, and it's going to cost them a ball game.
Yeah, it's big yardage you're giving up on those bad snaps, and it's
third down for the Hurricanes. And Heidel's just going to dump that ball off.
Screen.
Corey Sanders. And Sanders with a nice pickup inside the 30-yard line, but a long way to go. About 16, 17 yards for a first down from that spot. 35 seconds and counting in the half. Manatee's going to go for this.
I mean, if I'm Manatee, I'm going to throw a fade to number 6, a 6'7" tight end. I'm going to throw the ball up high, and Bombine jumps off sides. But
well, and so did the offensive right tackle move.
Yeah.
If I'm Manatee, I'm calling a timeout here and getting on the same page.
Yeah.
You got 21 seconds. You got a timeout in your back pocket. What do you love to say, Coach? You can't take them with you.
You can't take them with you.
Let's get on the same
page.
page and
You
call
can't
that
use them in the
timeout.
second half. But you got a 6'7" tight end that goes up and catches the ball. I'm going to have him run down the seam and throw the ball up high and see on this 4th down and see if he can, pull it down and make a big play. There's not a lot, like I said, once again, not a lot of plays to call on 4th and 30. You only got 15 seconds left and 14 seconds left. Clock is running now in the half. I'm going down the seam to number 6 and throwing a high ball and see if he can catch it.
It's got to be an end zone shot. And he's looking end zone all right. He's got one receiver in single coverage, but great coverage by the Southeast defense that time. Looked like number 28 for the Southeast Seminoles.
And Southeast really just dodged a bullet after that, going for it on 4th down and not making it. And maybe now the momentum swings to them for the second half. And
we'd like to say, it's a scintillating first half, a tie ball game, but hey, man, it's 0-0. Penalty flags everywhere. A lot of things going on that football field that have got us to this point, but nonetheless, we've got ourselves a ball game, Coach.
Yeah.
Manatee, the playoffs are on the line. We talk about strength of schedule. Manatee currently residing as the 3rd-ranked team in the Region 4, 4S region, and a loss to Southeast might do some damage to that strength of schedule and their points and their overall standing within that Region 4. So they have got a lot of line on the line here in the second half. And we're looking at one of the fathers of the Southeast Seminoles offensive guard, Matt Townsend the third out there. And I'm speaking to Matt Townsend the second. Here we go with the Pirates and the Pirates live from the Pirate Cove at
Do we know
High School.
which pirate?
I got to put my glasses on there. Yes, that is Port Charlotte Pirates ahead 15-7 over the Braden River Pirates.
And Port Charlotte beat Manatee. They're a good team. Very good team. They run the ball real well. They're going to put up a lot of yardage. It's been amazing to see to see the lack of offense, really on both sides, the lack of offense on both sides.
There really was, and that's kind of surprising because we've watched that Manatee team, and while they're not putting points on the scoreboard the way they were in the first half of the season, they slowed down a little bit. But boy, the offense has come to a stagnant halt tonight here at Paul Meckley Field at John Kiker Memorial Stadium. So we're going to go ahead and just take a break here, send this thing out to commercial after these messages from Manatee Schools Television, and we'll go ahead and bring you the halftime sounds of the Southeast High School Band.
This is Officer Beerholm with your Traffic Officer Minute. When backing out of a driveway or leaving a garage, watch out for children walking or bicycling to school. Be alert. Children arriving late for the bus may dart into the street without looking for traffic. Do you know when to stop for a school bus? The yellow flashing lights indicate the bus is preparing to stop. Drivers should slow down and prepare to stop. Red flashing lights and extended arms indicate the bus has stopped and children are getting on or off. Drivers must stop and wait until the red lights stop flashing. The extended stop arm is withdrawn and the bus begins moving. All drivers moving in either direction on a two-way street must stop for a school bus displaying a stop signal. It must remain stopped until the road is clear of children and the school bus stop arm is withdrawn. On a highway divided by a paved median, all drivers moving in either direction must stop for a school bus displaying a stop signal. It must remain stopped until the road is clear of children and the bus stop arm is withdrawn. On a highway divided by a raised barrier or an unpaved median at least 5 feet wide, drivers moving in the opposite direction do not have to stop for the bus. However, these motorists should slow down and watch for students. For more information on traffic safety tips, follow the Bradenton Police Department at Bradenton PD.
Don't wait for anyone. Get to where you need to go. Get to where you need to go. Yep, just go. If you are a prop person, bring your prop.
Very nice.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Please direct your attention to the center of the field. The Southeast High School marching knolls are led by band captains Luis Santana and Mackenzie Grassley. Brass captains Steve Garcia de Leon and Aiden Latorno. Woodwind captains Alexia Fuentes and Erica Lopez Figueroa. Drumline captains Leilani Villa and Charlie Ann Foley. Roulette captains Skylar Ratana and Dialexi Torres. And leading the band on the field are your 2022 drum majors, Lynette Rodriguez and Jose Gomez Coco. Southeast High School Director of Bands is Andrea Vella, assisted by Celeste Matthews, Jakaya Nelson, Brendan Dwyer, Kathy Campbell, Darian Evans, Sherry Garcia de Leon, Ashton Campbell, Dimitri Graham, and Aaron Garcia de Leon. Tonight, the Marching Knolls will perform their 2022 show designed by Juan Velasquez and Brendan Dwyer. Call Me Cruella, based on the recent blockbuster. Please welcome to the field, the Southeast Marching Knolls! Drum Major Jose Gomez Coco, is your band ready? You may begin.
very beginning, I always made a statement. Not everyone appreciated me.
grateful you have given us an exclusive for tomorrow's paper. Apparently not grateful enough to observe the dress code, I see. No complaint. to make it end. And I want to make trouble.
I do love trouble. Aren't they gorgeous and vicious?
It's my favorite combination.
What do you want?
I'm to be like you. You're a very powerful woman.
Let me give you some advice. If you need to talk about powers,
You don't have it.
well, I don't have it, which is why I need to talk about it, which is why I'm here. Am I prepared to get you about The good thing about evil people is you can always trust them to do something, well, evil.
Somebody lost their phone in the girls' bathroom. If you lost your phone in the girls' bathroom, look for Principal Collins. She has your phone. Principal Collins has a lost phone from the girls' bathroom. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready.
And that was a good look at both bands for the halftime, running a little bit late with the Southeast High School band. Zeros on that scoreboard. Both teams out on the field and getting ready to go. As a matter of fact, Southeast bringing that tee out on the field, and they're ready to tee this thing off. Manatee still on the sidelines, but an interesting first half, Coach. Both teams really struggling on offense. You look at the Southeast Seminoles, they with 97 yards with a commanding overall lead in total yards over the Manatee Hurricanes with 42 total yards in the first half when you factor in the lost yardage on the big sacks that happened in the backfield, mostly by Michael Gibson and that Southeast defense. So a really sluggish first half, and no surprise, 0-0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, you said at one point you'd never seen a game with where there was 5 straight penalties or 6 straight penalties. It's probably the least yardage I've seen in a game as well. And you don't see a lot of 0-0 games nowadays, at least not at the varsity level.
And we're not even considering the yardage penalties in those total yardage, as that kickoff by Avellaneda goes into the end zone, and Manatee's going to start first down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. So second half, let's see if the coaching staffs from either team, for both teams, could get in there, make some adjustments, and actually get something going on offense. And we don't want to take away anything from the defensive performances, particularly from Southeast. You know, we talked about how down the stretch the last few games that Southeast Seminole defense looked like they were tightening things up, and they made a lot of great plays, especially getting in the backfield in that first half.
Yeah, number 3, Michael Gibson's played really well. Number 12, Do we have a number on him yet? I know during halftime everyone in the press box was scrambling to try to find an accurate roster, but they made some good plays, and Manatee's fronts made some good plays. So there's a reason why there's not a lot of offense. Right off the bat, though, Manatee comes out and runs the ball and gets a nice gain with Sanders, picks up about 15 on the first play.
You want a good play, there's a good play. First down and 10, you get 15. So they're going to move that ball out to the 35-yard line, pick up a 15 on first down, and Sanders with a nice start. And Sanders in that first half, he did have 20 yards on 6 carries, 35 yards on 4 carries for Keyshawn Smith in the backfield. But again, the rushing total brought down by the sacks.
Talking to the Manatee coaches pregame, you got the feeling they thought they could run the ball, and that was what they were going to try to do, and here they come again.
And that's Keyshawn Smith on the carry that time. It looks like handoff from Heidel, and he'll get that ball out to the 45-yard line, 10 yards that time on first down. So back-to-back nice plays on the ground by Manatee, and it looks like maybe they're making a concerted effort.
That was Sanders again. It looks like number 2, yep.
So Corey Sanders with back-to-back runs in that the first series here in the second half.
Already
yards.
we've had more offense than we had in the first half, it seems like.
Back-to-back first downs. And Heidel's going to hand that ball once again off to Sanders, and Sanders this time not nearly as much room. He'll get that thing out to about the 47-yard line, pickup of 2 yards.
Yeah, that was a little counter there. They pulled the guard, kick out the end, and they had the big tight end, Colby Keenan, leading up in the hole, and got about a 2-yard gain, 2.5 yards.
It looks to be about a 2nd down and 8. We'll call it 2 yards on that pickup by Sanders. Again, Heidel out of the gun, Sanders in the backfield. And Sanders with that handoff. And he's got a little bit more running room that time, and Sanders bursts through, getting into Southeast territory down to near the 46-yard line. Going to be shy of the yard to gain for a first down by about a yard. 3rd down and 1 coming up for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, good tempo here. They're going to go quarterback sneak real fast here. We've seen them do this before when they go very fast and line up and go quarterback sneak. That's the first down.
You got it. We got a flag down on
here
the
we
field.
Go.
Here, yep, there we go. False start. Wow.
I don't think everybody was set before we snapped the ball there.
I mean, you want to go tempo. You want to try to catch Southeast off guard, but you got to get set. That's something they practice.
Now it's 3rd and 6 instead of 3rd and 1.
Instead of a first down. Yeah. Let's not forget, Heidel easily picked up that first down on that quarterback keeper.
Yeah, and I think it was just a receiver that wasn't set out there yet.
And now that ball spotted back inside Hurricane territory at the 49-yard line. 3rd down and 6. Heidel once again out of the gun. Shotgun snap on target that time, and Heidel fires his pass, complete past the sticks. That's going to be a first down, and that's going to be BJ Bean with his first catch of the night. And that's going to be good enough for a Hurricane first down.
Yeah, it was a good throw there. Run a hitch, 3rd and 6 into the boundary from the hash mark there. It's a nice short, safe throw if nobody gets underneath it. There's no inside receiver there. Flat defender hung under the number 2 receiver, so he just hit the outside guy for the first down.
From the 44, officials coming in and stopping this play. Timeout, Southeast. They maybe want to talk this over as Manatee now 3 straight first downs for the opening possession in this second half for the Hurricanes. And really, it is the most offense that we've seen by Manatee.
Well, they have 36 yards on this drive already. Actually, 41 if minus the 5 for the penalty. They would have had 41. So that's as much as they had in the whole first half.
Well, as many passing yards. They have 42 total yards in that first half. So showing signs of life. You know, most of that on the ground. Corey Sanders with a couple of nice runs out there. So you want to see if Manatee, with their bigger offensive line, looking to wear down that Southeast line, which a lot of players going both ways on offense and defense. So pound it out there and maybe wear them down here in the second half. Let's see if that's their MO. In the meanwhile, you got Twins split out to the field side.
I think that was their idea going into the game, but then the penalties were getting them behind the stick so often they have to adjust their play calling. There's the counter again.
Sanders wiggles his way for maybe 2. Looks like more about a pickup of a yard. And they're going to give him a pickup of just that, 1 yard. 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Hurricanes.
I don't even know you got a yard. I think he's just right at the line of scrimmage.
No, you're right. 44.
2nd and 10.
And now we got trips to the bottom of your screen. Again, Heidel out of the gun. Sanders a little bit of a lean. And that pass by Heidel is going to be incomplete, intended for Kobe Keenan, the tight end.
They had him split out at like wide receiver there and run a slant. I thought there might have been a legal procedure on that time. It looked like people were moving around when they snapped the ball. We got third down now, and Southeast has a chance to stop them here. Get the ball back. See what they can do on offense. It's first possession of the second half, very important for the momentum of the game.
And it's a big third down inside Southeast territory for Manatee. Third down and really 10 to go here for this Manatee offense. And Heidel's looking. He's looking at Kobe Keenan, flushed out, and he's going to dump it off that time. Keyshawn Smith. Smith one man to beat. Smith with a nice move, and Keyshawn Smith still on his feet inside the 35 and down to the 21-yard line. And that's going to be a first down for Manatee. A big play on that dump ball pass to Keyshawn Smith.
Yeah, good job by Heidel. He's looking downfield. He didn't think he had him. Dumped it off, took the check down to the running back. Get your athletes the ball in space. Let them make plays. Great run by Keyshawn Smith there, making 4 or 5 Seminoles miss on the tackle.
Michael Gibson finally downfield, looks like the one to bring him down. 21-yard gain on that play.
Speed option again.
Nice pitch that time to Sanders, and Sanders with room on the outside. Corey Sanders powers his way inside the 10-yard line, and that's going to be good enough for a first down and goal to go for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, we've seen Manatee run speed option twice. It's been first down both plays. We saw it last week against Palmetto, and they never went back to it. It was a successful play then. Right there, Southeast defense, nobody on the pitch man. You would think down here in the red zone where speed option's a good play because you get a lot of man coverage, I'd be going right back to that play again.
And that ball's inside the 9-yard line. First down and goal for the Hurricanes. Sanders in the backfield alongside Heidel. Sanders with that inside handoff, and he's going to be dragged down. Minimal gain that time. Well,
ball's out. Ball's out.
I think he may have been down. It looked like he did squirt out. It looked like he was going to be stopped for a short game, but then he squeezed through and then went down. And it looks like indeed the referees are.
They might call that, but I didn't see him go down. He's back here with no ball in his hands. I think Manatee might have gotten a break there.
Well,
that ball's been on the ground for a while.
His knee was going down, but I don't think it ever touched.
The ball was out real early.
Right there is where that
ball's already on the ground up
his
here.
Knee.
The ball was on the ground before. It's Southeast ball.
His knee was on a player. It did not touch the ground. He was up. That's a great job by the referees talking that over.
That ball's out before I think he even has contact with that player. Though. The ball was out early. You can see the guy pulling him back by his shirt. There was no ball in his hands. It will be interesting to see if Southeast can put together a 93-yard drive here. It's not asking too much, is it?
Well, no matter what, Southeast was on their heels. I mean, it's
98.
Manatee's first real scoring threat of the ball game, and Southeast able to come up with that turnover and thwart that scoring attempt. So that's a big momentum changer right there off the bat. So 93 yards or not to go for Southeast. Stopping the Hurricanes on a first and goal to go situation is huge. Southeast players.
There's one Southeast player out there over the ball, and everybody else is over here in the huddle. So I don't know if he's going to know what the play is when they get out there. I guess they got to go tell him.
That's Jason Lisinski. And now Southeast offense, first and 10 from the 3-yard line. And that handoff that time really going nowhere.
Yeah, I think right now they're just trying to get a little room here. They lined up under center for the second time. The last time was the 4th down play. They just ran a little dive to the fullback there, trying to get some room off the line of scrimmage, but the Manatee defensive line stuffed it there. Tyreek Robinson, 99, was in there. Hard to get movement on that guy. He's a big kid. Now they're back in the gun.
Thomas with to throw the ball. He's got a receiver. Thomas has got number 17, and that's Deuce Stiles. And Deuce Stiles still on his feet and going, and deep into Manatee territory, across midfield and down to the 47-yard line. Wow. And just like that, out of the shadow of your own end zone in Manatee territory, one play, bam.
Jonathan Stiles, Deuce Stiles. He's a transfer from Palmetto High as well.
Southeast, you talk about turning momentum.
Big play. Biggest play of the night for Southeast. Just hit him on a quick slant.
Was that 13? That was 13. That was 13. Yeah. That's Ryan Simmons then for the Seminoles.
That was good. I don't think Stylson was in at the time.
And again, those dark jerseys hard to see up here in the press box, but nonetheless, that's Simmons with that reception. And that time we've got 5 yards on first down, 2nd down and 5 for Southeast. And Crawford with a handoff, and Crawford will be slung down that time by 99. Tyreek Robinson, another flag down on the field.
Illegal procedure on Southeast. Tyreek Robinson down on the field for Manatee, though. We saw him stay down on the field last week, so he's probably not 100%.
An injury down on the field. Both teams go to the sideline.
Oh. So Southeast getting a little offense going here, coming out of their end zone with that slant to Ryan Simmons and good speed. Big gain for them to get out over the 50. We'll see here if they can keep this drive alive.
And while we've got an injury on the field, we've got a live cut in with Braden River and Port Charlotte. And there you see the Braden River Pirates with a nice play right there by quarterback Nick Trier. And Braden River on the move, down 8 points in that game. And again, that's for the district championship.
It's a nice scramble. You don't see Trier. We didn't see Trier run the ball that much when we had Braden River earlier in the year. He's more known for his throwing, more of a pocket passer. That was a good scramble, athletic play there by Trier.
Well, it's all coming back. That's for not. As you saw that penalty flag in that game, they're going to be taking that run by Nick Trier off the board for Braden River. And again, that's that 3S District 13 championship game, and a lot of marbles on the line tonight for both teams. And we're back in action here, Southeast, and Thomas out of the shotgun. Thomas looking to pass downfield, and he's got a receiver, but just chucks that thing and overthrows his man and out of bounds.
Yeah, it was a little miscommunication there, I think. He was throwing a deep ball. The outside receiver pulled up on a hitch. The inside guy looked like he was well inside of where that ball was thrown. So I don't know if they're on the same page there. Now you're looking at a 3rd down and 10.
From the 47-yard line of the Hurricanes, Thomas again out of the gun. Crawford in the backfield. Thomas fires out to the flats. Nice job that time on defense by Darren Jean for the Hurricanes to break that pass up and bring up 4th down.
Yeah, that was not, that was going to be a no gain. Actually, I thought for a second there you might see a pick 6 when Darren Jean was sitting on that route.
And Darren Jean with 4 interceptions on the season already. He's a ball hawk.
And trying to throw the ball from the right hash to the outside of the left numbers, not a good idea there. And they kind of got lucky it wasn't picked off, in my opinion. But he almost caught it. Ball got knocked away. He hit instantly when the ball hit him in the hands. It was good defense by Darren Jean and Deron Jean. And Manatee's defense holds again.
And Avalon on to punt it away for the Seminoles.
The Southeast has problems with their snaps this year. So, yeah, it's always an adventure on the punts.
Not much pressure, and that punt is nice. And Bon Bean, it sends him running backwards, and Bon Bean into the end zone, and Bon Bean runs that ball back out, and he's going to go nowhere. And what an outstanding punt by Avalon and Manatee mishandles it, and now they're pinned inside their own 5-yard line. They just had it 1st down and goal inside the 5, and now they're backed up inside their own 5-yard line. We're 0-0, 6:20 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, the coach usually tells a player to put his heels on the 10-yard line, don't go back on the ball. He went back, tried to catch the ball over his shoulder inside the 10. Big mistake. Ball deflects and goes to the 1-yard line, and now they're coming out. But you talk about flipping the field. Southeast takes over with the 2, and here we are a couple minutes later, and Manatee's on their 2. So totally flipped the field.
That's the name of the game. If you can't punch it in there, if you can't score, you want to flip that field and gain field position. Southeast with a masterful job that time. We talked about the questionable decision right before the half with 1:14 to go, and they were in basically the same area of the field and elected not to punt it away. Manatee took over actually in Southeast territory that time, a good decision, and it pays off.
Yeah, it was a real good kick. He started the half with a good kick. He kicked the ball in the end zone to start the half. The punter kicker for Southeast having a good game tonight. He's got the wind at his back this quarter going in that direction, so took advantage of it there and got a good long punt.
Looking to see if that's 13 or 15 in the game for Manatee.
It looks like Squinteri to me, but I can't tell for sure.
And he'll keep that ball and get out just past the 5-yard line. A few yards. We got a little extracurricular activity going on out there. No flags from the officials, surprisingly.
13 Squinteri.
And that's Johnny Squinteri in a quarterback for the Hurricanes. And we've got an official's timeout on the field. Water break.
Water break, and no, we have an injured player. Yeah, we have an injured player down there. And you got to control your emotions down there. Neither team can afford a penalty at this juncture. 0-0 game. Southeast has gotten pinned back. You don't want to get a penalty, post-play penalty, and get them out of that hole. It looks like it's just cramps. I can't see the number of the Southeast player, but they're stretching his legs. John Carl, longtime trainer here at Southeast, who told us he called a close game tonight. Told us it was going to be a close game.
Well, a couple of people you talked to thought it was going to be a close game. We thought it would be at least a close first half, and it was. You know, the games that we've seen Southeast play in, they generally play a tough first half and come out okay. We didn't know if they would be able to hang all 4 quarters with this Manatee Hurricane team, however, but right now it's Manatee who's on the ropes. Yeah. And they've got a tough spot to convert second down right now. Yeah, Southeast
just has had a hard time finishing games this year. They played Braden River real tough, and we knew their defense had been playing better. Coach Timmons, he alluded to that. Some Southeast fans we talked to, the defense has been playing better, so we knew the defense would play better. And the big question was going to be if their offense can provide any power at all, and that seems to be a big question for both teams tonight, if we can get any offense out of anybody.
And we got the Southeast player limping off the field right now. Again, hard to tell what that number is with those jerseys. Could be Lonnie Lee, defensive lineman for the Seminoles, but as it is, it's going to be second down and about 7 yards to go. And Sanders is going to be dragged down from behind that time. Minimal gain, maybe a yard.
Looks like 42. Do we have a 42? Once again, we cannot see these numbers. And I wish every high school team in the country would stop going to the alternate uniforms.
We don't have a 42. So we got now third down and about 6 yards to go for the Hurricanes, and that ball is going to be spotted. It looks like around the 7-yard line, just outside the 6.
That's a big play right here. If you can force Manatee to kick out of the end zone there, have a chance to make a big play on a punt return, set your offense up.
Squinteri fires the pass out to the flats. He's got his receiver out there. Outstanding job that time. Catch by Corey Sanders out of the backfield on a wheel route. And that's going to be good enough for a Hurricane first down. Big play by the Hurricanes to get out of trouble and get out of that hole.
I think he was lined up in like a wing, and he just ran a slant. He just ran an arrow. Flat defender got hung up on the slant going inside. Good read by Squinteri. Delivered the ball on time. Sanders made a nice catch. Got vertical right away and got the first down.
Sanders with 55 yards on the ground on that last drive. Gets him out of a hole this time. First down and 10 for the Canes. Sanders again on the carry. Bounces it out left, and Sanders is going to be spun down that time after he crosses the 30-yard line. Out to about the 33, right at the first down marker, and that looks like it's going to be good enough for a first down for Manatee.
Yeah, it's getting a little chippy out there after the tackle. We had a little verbal discussion between the tackler and the running back. The referee came in, kind of separated the two.
That ball's going to be spotted at the 33-yard line. Good enough for a Manatee first
down. We just got a flag over there on the Manatee sideline.
That's a sideline warning or something unsportsmanlike.
It's unsportsmanlike on the sideline right now would be terrible.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike.
They called it on Southeast.
Now that's interesting, as you said, it came right in front of that Manatee bench.
There was no Southeast player even over there.
Huh.
Unless that ref's got good ears and could hear something from 20 yards away.
I don't even think the Hurricanes, as they break the huddle, realized there was a penalty out there. They're getting ready to get on that football, and they heard the referees moving it down out to near midfield at the 48-yard line.
There must have been some kind of verbal violation there, because there was no players over in that area.
As it stands, first down and 10 for the Hurricanes from their own 48-yard line. 4:40 to go in the third quarter, 0-0 on the scoreboard. Corey Sanders, and Sanders off the right side and then up the middle. And he'll get into Southeast territory and bring that ball inside the 45 and down to the 43-yard line. And that's right at the sticks and good enough.
They're going to go.
Well, I don't know if they're going to spot this short or what they're calling it second and inches in their eyeball, and that looks from here to be a first down.
Manatee ran a little zone read.
Well, it's not going to be a first down when you move the ball back a yard, and that's what they just did. So second down and a yard to go. Interesting.
Manatee was in a bunch down here, and they had him outnumbered. They had 2 defenders over 3, but they went ahead and ran the zone read, got a nice gain.
And that bunch formation
Same formation.
Still out. Hand off to Sanders, and Sanders goes off to the left side that time. Sanders brought down, but not before he gets the first down, though. Short pickup, but good enough for another Hurricane first down. They're going to mark that ball at the 40.
Yeah, a previous play, he cut it back on the zone. That time he stayed play side, tried to bounce it. Defensive defender for Southeast made a nice play. Got a first down on it. I believe it was 35.
And from the 40-yard line, now first down and 10. 2 backs in the backfield, Smith and Sanders along with Squitieri. And Smith flares out in motion. Sanders with a handoff, powers forward. He's dragging tacklers down to near the 35-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of nearly 5 yards. They'll give him 4. Second down and 6.
Michael Gibson in the middle there again, number 3. Making a play. He's been all over the field tonight, having a good game.
He has. I mean, living in the backfield, making plays downfield.
Yeah, he's active. He runs to the ball. He's playing with a motor.
And here we go with the second down and 6 play from the 36-yard line. Sanders in the backfield behind Squitieri. And he'll
counter.
get the handoff again, right side. That's Smith. And Keyshawn Smith inside the 30 and down to about the 27-yard line. That's good enough again for a Manatee first down. And Manatee is on the move off their own 3-yard line.
This is the counter they ran earlier, the pull in the guard, 52, and then 6 to tighten that H-back coming up behind him. Southeast spilled it pretty good, but he bounced it to the outside. There was nobody out there. He gets a nice gain, first down. Manatee's they're on their way here. Could be a 98-yard drive if they can finish it off.
We thought that before. We've seen this movie before, Coach.
Yeah. This is right about the place in the field where the penalty started last time.
27-yard line. And Squitieri keeps that ball, rolls out left, looking downfield, dumps it off, and off the hands that time of Ramsey Cole, a little bit behind him. Dangerous deflection, but falls incomplete. Second down.
Yeah, they brought Ramsey Cole all the way from the backside behind the line of scrimmage. We saw they tried to run that play on 4th down against Palmetto last Friday night, and there was too much penetration, blew it up. That time again, I think he got kind of hung up in the wash in the middle there, and then the ball was thrown a little behind him.
And second down and 10 now from the 27-yard line.
Not sure if I would have been throwing the ball there the way they were running the ball the last couple of runs. I think I would have stuck with that.
That gets you a little bit behind the sticks here. Let's see what they can do with Corey Sanders. Tries that left side, and Sanders with a few yards inside the 25, down to the 24-yard line. That's going to bring up third down and about 7 to go. Yes, maybe 6. Give him 4 yards on that carry, actually. Third down and 6 to go for the Hurricane offense. Ball spotted at the 24.
Could be 4 down territory again. We looking if it's incomplete here, an incomplete pass here would leave you with a 41-yarder. I'm not sure they would try that. They didn't earlier, so you might be looking at 2 plays. Motion to empty.
He's looking. Smith goes back to the left side, and Bon Bean lets that ball go right through his hands. That looked like it was going to be well defended, but Bon Bean has got some shiftiness in him, and we've got 4th down right now. And Corey Sanders now over 100 yards. After these last 2 drives, 20 carries, 110 yards in the ball game. Smith with 44 on 5 carries. So both these backs starting to get it done a little bit after a sluggish first half, but now Manatee in a precarious pickle. 4th down, 6 to go. 24-yard line, offense on the field. And Squitieri looking down. He's got his man, and that ball's going to be caught. And it looks like it's going to be Jaquez Randall for a Hurricane first down. Big play on 4th down and 6 from Squitieri to Randall.
Great throw. Great throw. Threw it on time. Nice ball to the outside. Receiver ran a good route, got to the sticks, got the first down, got out of bounds.
And that ball spotted at the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes. 1:39 to go in the third quarter. Zeros on the scoreboard.
Reverse
Von Bean, and B.J. Bean cuts it upfield, and he's going to be dragged down, slammed down near the 10-yard line to the 11, a pickup of 4 yards. 2nd down and 6 coming up. And Manatee definitely keeping that ball on the ground here, but this is about the area of the field where they put it on the turf last time. 2nd down.
It's also the area field where they usually start to look for number 6. And we've seen that last week against Palmetto, earlier tonight.
Yep.
Trying to get the ball to the big tight end.
You can see that bunch formation out there, and Kobe Keenan leading the way, blocking that time. And Squitieri with the keeper off that left side. He's going to pick up some yards down inside the 5 and down to about the 3-yard line.
Here comes a flag, came in late.
That's going to be
a late flag.
That looks like some chirping and some extracurriculars.
We'll see who gets called here. If it's on Manatee, it's going to push it back. Southeast, it'll be a half the distance penalty. It'll only be about 2 yards, but it'll be 2 yards closer to the end zone.
It's dead ball, and
Personal
it's against
foul.
Southeast. Half the
There's
distance.
another
one
on Southeast.
Wow.
That had to be their response to the first one.
It was. You saw the player throw his hands up in the air, incredulous. You know, when you talk about your 15-yard penalties, though, when they're half the distance from the 3-yard line, you know, it ain't 15. Getting your money's worth, I guess.
And if one of those guys gets 2, they're going to be out. So I see Brett Timmons walking off with number 1. I don't know if that was Perkins' second penalty. We don't in high school they don't tell you the number. They do tell the coaches though. And if they get the two personal fouls or unsportsmanlike penalties, 2 unsportsmanlike penalties in game, they could be ejected.
So obviously something was said, at least on that second penalty. We still don't know what the personal foul was. It looked like some players were out of bounds, but that was a dead ball foul that was called. It was not continuing action.
Yeah, well, it might have been an out of bounds hit, late hit like we saw last week. You know, there was a little pile over there, and one of the guys might have got in there a little late, but then the response came in, and that was sportsmanlike.
So that should be somewhere inside the 2-yard line, near the 1-yard line, with back-to-back personal foul penalties.
It's like the white hat is going over to explain it to Coach Timmons.
I thought I just saw the old.
It may be his second one.
Thought I saw a thumb. Manatee's breaking huddle and going back to the line of scrimmage, but this ball is not set, not in play yet.
I didn't see an official signal he was ejected.
No, he's going back out to the field, so. So Manatee now, 1st down and goal. Looks like that ball is, it looks like it's definitely inside the 2 here. It should be near the 1.
Yeah, it may even be inside the 1 looking at the line judge on this side. He's
there
right,
he is.
right
Yeah,
at the
you're
1-yard line.
After a little bit of a delay here.
I think they would probably just go quarterback sneak. They've been successful doing that in the past in the 3 games we've seen them this year. Squitieri, they have the guy up close to push the quarterback from behind there.
And that's a tight formation right there, and that's exactly what they're going to do. But Squitieri has stood up.
He's in.
He's
touchdown.
in. And finally,
just the surge of the line. Got him
47 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. We've got our first points of the ball game, Coach. Johnny Squitieri punches that thing in from a yard out.
For a second there, I thought we were doing a soccer game. It was 0-0 for a while.
We're still dealing with a baseball score here until Joey Colonesso could put that toe to leather and get that ball up through the uprights. 6-0 right now.
Well, historically, the Southeast soccer team would probably score more than that.
You know, we're talking to a few people about that close game, and it is still that. You know, Manatee finally taking that lead. We talked to George Schreier. Mr. George Schreier, a distinguished Southeast Seminole.
A legendary Southeast Seminole.
Legendary. He predicted this close game.
One of the all-time greats.
And that Colonesso kick is up, and it's good. And with 43 seconds to go, your score from Paul Meckley Field at John Kiker Memorial Stadium. It's the Manatee Hurricanes 7 and the Southeast Seminoles 6. And so finally, the scoreless doldrum is broken.
You mentioned Paul Meckley Field. So good to see Paul back out here before
is.
the game. Interim athletic director coming out of retirement to try to help out at Southeast. Their athletic director left earlier this year, and they were having trouble finding a replacement, and Paul stepped up and in Paul Meckley fashion.
And there he is right there, a young Paul Meckley. Look at that. Got the sideburns. Oh, we're going to see the age progression of Paul Meckley right in front of us
Howard
here.
Eberle in the picture there. Paul and Barb.
You can't tell the story of Southeast. You can't tell the story of this rivalry without that man right there whose name is on this field.
Yeah, he made it a rivalry. You know, he and Coach Canan on the other side of the field, having those two quality coaches in the same small town in Florida, but back then was a small town. The people in Manatee County were just blessed to have those two guys show up and turn football in Manatee County what it is today.
Put it on the map.
Definitely
Exactly what we
put it on
talked
the
about
map.
the pregame show, that people know about Bradenton all around this country because of those two guys.
Exactly.
Joey Colonesso set to tee this thing off.
It's actually Heidel kicking off.
Is that Heidel?
That's a
It
live
was, and
ball.
that ball's live, exactly.
And he's going to be tackled deep.
And he's going to be
Southeast
brought
third.
down. And Zacharias Thomas for the Hurricanes down there on special teams.
Yeah, that was Heidel kicking off. Earlier, we saw Colonesso kick one out of bounds.
I guess I was just so used to Joey Colonesso kicking
Yeah.
it, didn't even look at the number.
Yeah.
Jacoby Mobley looks like the one picking up that ball on the return, and he'll be stopped to spot that ball inside the 10, somewhere around the 8-yard line. So Southeast, looking at their first deficit of this game, now backed up inside their own 10-yard line. They got a long field in front of them.
Yeah, it's, you know, when you got a struggling offense, putting them back inside the 10, that's brutal. That's to come up with a long drive like that.
And the handoff that time.
Be inside the 5 now.
And that's a great play that time by that Hurricanes defense.
Ian Johnson Kelly again.
Imagine that. And that's Derek Hugan with his first carry of the night, 78 yards on the season coming into this game. And that carry is going to get a loss of the play back inside the 5 down to about the 4. So that's going to be a loss of 4 on the play, second down and 14.
And you can see that Manatee defense now, their defensive line, just pinning their ears back, ready to get. They're going to let the quarter run out here. We're going to go down the other end of the field and try it. Second and 14, coming out at the 4-yard line.
And we played 3 here from Paul Meckley Field at John Kiker Memorial Stadium. And your score after 3 quarters, it's the Manatee Hurricanes 7 and the Southeast Seminoles nothing. We'll be right back after these messages.
Start a great future with the School District of Manatee County. Apply now at manateeschools.net/careers.
And welcome back to the 4th quarter here at Paul Meckley Field at John Kiker Memorial Stadium. Manatee 7, Southeast nothing. Southeast taking over on their own, with the ball now at second down from their own 4-yard line, second down and 14.
And now they'll be going into the wind. Now the quarter has changed and the wind picking up a little here. A little brisk breeze blowing from right to left.
And Thomas going to roll out. He's under pressure. Thomas flagged down.
It's going to be a safety.
Fires that feet. That we got a little hold maybe.
Holding in the end zone is going to be a safety.
And there it is. So that 7-point lead, it just turned into 9.
Yep. And now Southeast is going to have to kick it from their 20.
And Thomas was definitely under pressure. Referee still talking about it out there, but that call's been made. It's holding. Manatee's defense coming off the field. Southeast coming off dejected. Matt Townsend, the third, coming off there. Hard-fought game. And you got, again, Southeast has been out there in a fist fight tonight. You wouldn't know this is a 1-7 team playing a 5-3 team by the looks of what we've seen on that field tonight. So again, hats off right now. That lead here extended in the fourth quarter to a 9-point lead, and the Hurricanes are going to get the ball back.
Yeah, they haven't shown any quit. I mean, they've fought hard going into the game and all night long. So you got to give them credit for that. It looks like Manatee's starting to wear them down a little bit now, though.
And that's what we thought might happen. When we talk about the George Schreier predictions and everybody's predictions, we talked to, like you said, John Carl before the game as well. A lot of other guys, not just Southeast guys. This is Manatee Southeast. So a lot of people thought, throw the records out. There's going to be some tough matches out there in that first half, and that's exactly what we saw. I just don't, again, think we kind of anticipated as sloppy of a game as we saw in that first half.
Yeah, it was a very sloppy first half.
And that's a short, high kickoff, sky kick. Oh, no, and that's mishandled. And it's Southeast ball. And Southeast is going to have that. You talk about a fortuitous kick and bounce, and Southeast right back in this thing when it looked like Manatee had all the momentum. Wow.
Looked like number 8 for Manatee. Ian Johnson Kelly was going back, but no, it was number 12. Number 12 trying to catch the short pooch kick and hit off his face mask, and Southeast recovered it.
Man, Zacharias Thomas with a critical turnover on special teams, and let's see if Southeast can capitalize on this.
Give Southeast life here, down by 9. They're down 2 scores now.
Ball spotted at the Hurricane 46-yard line. First down and 10. Thomas back at quarterback, out of the gun. Handoff, Crawford. Crawford right side. And Crawford out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Knock him out at the 41-yard line. A 7 again, sorry. Thank you.
And he's hurt over on the track there, number 7 for Southeast. Corey Clay had a decent run there, got about 6 yards, and then he pulled up on the track, looked like his left ankle. I don't know if it's a cramp. It may just be a cramp.
So that was Clay on that carry. Crawford now in the backfield, and Crawford's going to get that ball going left this time. And Crawford inside the 40, down to about the 37-yard line. So Southeast back-to-back nice runs, and that one is going to be close to a first down.
I'd like to see the back maybe turn upfield a little quicker there. He had a good hole there, and he's just trying to bounce at the outside. I think he's going to stick his foot in the ground, get north and south, maybe get that first down. Now you're looking at 3rd and 1.
And Hugan comes in at running back, Crawford out. So we've got our third straight play with a different running back in there for the Seminoles.
A lot of players cramping up now.
3rd and 1, high snap, bobbled. And Hugan is going to be stopped in the backfield, and that Hurricane defense stands tall. DeMontez McDowell in there for the Hurricanes for the loss on the play. Wow.
Yeah, they lost about 2 yards on that. It's going to be 4th and 3.
We talked, this is the same area of the field where we've had these conversations before. You don't expect, obviously, Southeast to be punting here in this situation down 9 points. 4th down and 3. They're going for this thing all day long. Hugan in the backfield along with Thomas. And Thomas is going to throw this ball on 4th down. Thomas over the middle. Thomas has got his receiver. And that ball's out, and Manatee's going to recover, it looks like. Wow. And they do.
Edwards had to catch over the middle, got hit, fighting for extra yardage, and the ball came out.
Tony Edwards with a great reception. Great throw by Thomas on top of that on a critical down and distance, but Manatee gets that ball back. Here we go, one more look at it. And that was Ladarius Thomas
41.
coming in there.
Yeah, it looks like he came in and put his helmet right on the ball while Edwards was fighting for extra yardage there, trailing a linebacker coming from behind and knocked the ball loose. I don't know who recovered it, but Manatee came up with it. And now they can just try to run out the clock.
And a nice pickup on 1st down. That's Keyshawn Smith in the ball game for the Hurricanes, toting that rock.
Big gain there, get about 8. The offensive line for Manatee starting to take charge of this game.
Ball on the 27-yard line. 2nd down and 2 to go for the Hurricanes. Squitieri hands that ball off again. Smith right side. Smith, first down, pickup for the Hurricanes past the 30-yard line, out to about the 31. And that clock running now at 9:40. It stopped now for the first down. 9:41 to go in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think he went out of bounds as well. It's going to stop the clock. And now's the time in the game where you want to start thinking about staying in bounds and telling your running backs you got the first down and get down. Don't go out of bounds. Keep that clock running. You got a 2-score lead. Ball security and stay in bounds if you're on offense. Defense, you're trying to strip the ball out and get the ball back because you're going to need 2 possessions here.
Sanders and Smith in the backfield now behind Squitieri. Smith in motion. And he's going to fire that pass out to Smith. Keyshawn Smith, nice tackle. Good defense that time by Southeast. And a minimal pickup, if any, for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, it was well defended. They brought him out in motion, tried to hit a little flare to him. The defenders there beat the block and made the play for no gain.
And they'll give Keyshawn Smith a yard on that reception. And that's going to bring up 2nd down and 9. 9:15 to go and counting in the ball game. Ball now at the 32-yard line. And with 2 scores now, and Southeast with nothing on the board all night long, you know, this is starting to get a little thick.
Manatee's unbalanced out this time. They're going to run.
Oh, and Keyshawn Smith loses his balance and goes down. That's going to be no gain on that play. 3rd down and 9. Matter of fact, they're going to mark him a yard loss, it looks like, back to the 30. It looked like, I'm not sure if he lost that much, but nonetheless, 30.
Lisinski had good penetration here. 52 was in the backfield, made him try to make a cut early, and he lost his footing.
They're going to give him a 2-yard loss on that, so inside the 30-yard line, 3rd down and 12. They're going to hand that ball off, burn clock again. Southeast in the backfield. Well, you called it Lisinski again with great penetration for the Seminole defense with 8 minutes to go almost in this ball game. Southeast needed that. If they got a chance in this ball game to pull this thing out, they had to stop that thing right there, and they did.
That looks like number 50 was in at center for Manatee, which is a new center, which, you know, after all the snaps, that might have been a change, and I think that's where Lisinski came through on that one.
They've had the sophomore Aiden Clark in there at center for the last several games. And that time it's Hayden Randolph resuming his role. He was the starter at the beginning of this year. Perkins back to receive the punt. Colin Esso.
They got to get this off. They got about 2 seconds. There it is, delay game.
Wow.
They didn't have enough guys on the field. When they got them in there, it was too late.
You need to call a timeout there. You're not going to need those things with a 9-point lead. Again, you can't take them with you, Coach. That 5 yards is the big deal right here. Colin Esso averaging 40 yards per punt on the season, so he's got a nice leg in terms of punting that ball, but you need every yard you can get right here. And now Perkins moves up to his own 40-yard line. Any kind of good return here, and Southeast is going to be setting up shop in outstanding field position. And no rush at all. And there's a nice booming punt by Colin Esso, fielded on the fly at the 39. Here's Perkins. Perkins to the left side. Perkins with room. And across midfield and into Hurricane territory, down at the 42-yard line.
DeMontez McDowell made the tackle. Looks like he was blocked in the back or held while it was happening.
And it looks
so
like
it's probably going to move back 10 yards.
An official might agree with you on that.
Yep.
So that outstanding field position for Southeast looks like it's going to be taken away and moved back into their own territory.
Yeah, that's a block in the back right there, right at the play.
Right in front of the Hurricanes bench.
Yeah, right in front of the ref and Hurricanes bench. It wasn't a vicious hit. There wasn't much contact. I think he was trying to pull up, but he did make contact with him in the back, and they're going to call that every time right there. It was almost a back-to-back block. Kind of fell into him.
It's got like a high-five celebration.
Got to peel off and throw your hands up in the air so the ref knows you didn't hit him.
And that ball is going to be spotted now at the 47-yard line. First down and 10 for the Seminoles.
Yeah, Southeast got to do something here, and they got to do it pretty quick if they're going to have any chance here to get 2 scores. So we'll see if their offense can produce anything here in this drive.
Let's see if they go tempo here as well. Handoff on the ground. And that's going to be a couple of yards pickup that time by Hugan.
Yeah, that was a 57 for Manatee on the tackle there with number 5, DeMontez. Max Freeman and DeMontez McDowell on the tackle, 2 linebackers.
McDowell, just an athlete who's been all over the field. Seen him play offense earlier in the season for Manatee as well. And that clock's ticking, 6:41 and counting to go. Ball at the 49-yard line. Southeast not using tempo, and they got a player coming on late here, real late.
They're not going to get it off. They got 2 seconds. Well, they got it off.
They got it off. Thomas looking to throw that ball. He's going to heave it downfield. Got a man. And there was some contact down the field. No flags on the play. Darren Jean in coverage for the Hurricanes.
16 is Wortham.
And Wortham, we talked about him before
receiver.
the game, and a talented freshman. And it looked like he may have had a step and had a chance to get that ball.
You know, after seeing Lisinski make that play on defense last possession, and you think about how he's gone against Ian Johnson-Kelly all night on offense as well, got to be exhausted playing both ways, facing a guy of that caliber, and doing a pretty good job. 52 for Southeast.
And here we go,
Who's
third down, and about 7 to go. Long 7, short 8.
But he's got to be getting tired going both ways.
Got to be. Thomas looking downfield. Thomas got a receiver, overthrows.
Almost picked
Wortham again, the intended receiver, almost intercepted, incomplete. 4th down for the Seminoles, 6:18 to go.
You hear Diaz almost had a pick there. He had one last week against Palmetto. He almost had another one there. Overthrow, get him in the hands.
And Southeast really has no choice right now, looking to pick up. They need this first down. They've got 4 of them only in the ball game tonight. Manatee with 18 first downs tonight. So Manatee really getting things going, on track a little bit offensively here in the second half. Not so for Southeast, but they need to get it going
a
here.
Water break here, and refs have called timeout for a water break. With 6:18 left.
And again, 9-0 2-score game right here. So Southeast, while they need to get something going, they're going to have to also play some defense here a little early in the game, depending on how long it might take for them to get points, if they can get points. Might be getting down into the old onside kick territory, but we'll have to wait and see. Cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now, we're staring at a 4th down and 8.
They got to get a first down here. With a 2-score lead, Manatee gets the ball back with 6 minutes left. It's pretty much over.
This is it right here. Going to be hard to recover for Southeast. And here we go with Wortham coming on late again, coming out of that timeout.
They're punting.
They are. They're going to quick kick this thing. No returner back for Manatee.
Timeout, Manatee.
Interesting call here with 6:18 to go in the ball game and needing 2 scores.
I am surprised they're punting.
Me too,
and
but
maybe that's what caught Manatee off guard. They weren't expecting it to be a punt, so there was no returner coming in.
Well, you gotta wonder with that little time left on the clock if you were to punt it away here. Now we say that, but the last time we had that free kick, stranger things have happened. But you can't count on that as part of your strategy here. I mean, you need 2 possessions.
Yeah.
And with 6:18 left to go in the ball game, and Manatee actually moving that ball here in the second half, you can't afford to give that back.
No, I would think at this point I would have to go for it, 4th down.
If you're going to give the ball back to Manatee, there's really not much difference between giving it to him at the 49 or giving it to him at the 20.
Yeah, it's about when you're down 2 scores. But they're going to leave the punt team in there. I don't know. I hope it's not a fake, because if I'm going to run a play, I'd rather have my offense run it, who works on that all the time.
I wouldn't even put a return man back there to even fumble the ball.
They're not. Manatee's playing defense. They're playing safe, which is smart, I would think. Call your base defense. Line up in your base defense. If he kicks it, you just let it roll down there and down it wherever it goes.
And that's what they're doing. It's a nice high punt that time.
Coach Timmons putting it on his defense to get it back now.
Avellaneta's punt, did what they wanted it to do. The problem here for Southeast is the clock. 6:07 to go in the ball game, and the other problem, the scoreboard.
He's been a weapon. Avellaneta's been a weapon for them tonight. The punt that was pinned deep. back in the end zone, pinned him back deep here, down at the 10.
And we got to give him credit in that field goal attempt, too, that came up just a couple of yards short. It was right on the money, right down the middle. But
And he has a kickoff into the end zone for a touchback as well.
yeah.
And then he had the pooch that was recovered. So he's had a big night for the kicker.
And a live scoring update, Port Charlotte 22-14 over the Braden River Pirates. And that time, Corey Sanders stood up in the backfield, slammed down for a loss on the play that time.
Lisinski.
And that's Lisinski again, you're right.
Yeah, he's played a game tonight, boy, and playing a lot of plays. And, you know, we've seen numerous guys coming off the field cramping up that aren't playing both ways. And he's been in the trenches both ways and still being effective.
Yeah, particularly in the second half, Jacek Lisinski has just been in the backfield making plays.
And at first, and playing the whole night against one of the better defensive players in the area and holding up pretty well against them.
Loss of 2 on that play. That's going to be 2nd down and 12. And that time the pitch to Sanders, and Sanders is going to be swarmed on by the Southeast defense. And now all of a sudden, you know, we talked about Coach Timmons' decision, and that ball, a great punt by Avellinoida to pin him at the 10, and then the Southeast defense rises up. 2 straight losses on the play, and it's going to be 3rd down.
Timeout. Brett Timmons takes a timeout there. Stop the clock instead of letting 20 seconds run off the clock with 5:16 left after a second running play. Thinking they may throw on 3rd. If you get an incomplete pass here and stop them, you could get out of this and get the ball back with 5 minutes left.
So Coach Timmons, tip of the cap for that call, you know, with just over 6 minutes to go in this ball game, wondering is he going to have enough time to get that ball back for 2 possessions if he gives it up. It looked like a pretty fortuitous decision right there.
I mean, even if he does get it back with 5 minutes left, though, 2 scores in 5 minutes is a tall order for an offense that hasn't scored yet.
Yeah, you got to boogie.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to go up tempo. You got to put that ball downfield.
Yep. And they really haven't done anything offensively to make you think they're going to be able to do that yet.
And again, we'll cross that when we get to it because right now we're still dealing with a 3rd down and 12. And Manatee still huddled up on the sideline over there. And if you're looking at that scoreboard right there, it is the Manatee Hurricanes with 9 points and the Seminoles with none.
0. We have it backwards there on the screen.
That's all right.
It is Manatee 9, Southeast 0. So just not so you don't get confused. Manatee's got a 3rd and 12 here coming out of their own end zone.
That ball's going to go to Sanders. Sanders with room off that left side, and one man
tackle.
to beat, and it was a great tackle out there in space. And that looks like maybe Jacoby Mobley on that tackle for the Seminoles. Outstanding job. And Southeast now letting that clock roll with 4:57 and counting.
I think it might have been 19, Chauncey Kennan.
Either way, we'll give Chauncey Kennan a little credit. We haven't said his name out there tonight.
He's a freshman. If that was him, that was
both
a good
of them.
We can't tell the numbers if that's a 19 or a 14. So
I think that's both of them are freshmen out there, by the way, Coach. So hats off to the freshmen playing their tails off on defense for the Seminoles. And now Mobley is back to receive that punt.
So Southeast can get it back with 4 minutes left. Probably, or they should get it back in Manatee territory with about 4 minutes left and see if they can get a score and go onside kick and make a game. Kicks it out of bounds.
Wow.
It's going to be marked around the 30-yard line.
That was on the track, almost into the stands.
The ref's going to walk it back. It's going to be around the 31-yard line, I think.
And that was not the
my
right
angle.
time for
There
Joey
it is.
Colonesso to boot one out of bounds.
And it's right on the 31-yard line.
So
maybe 32.
We have now 4:14 to go in the ball game. Now remember, Southeast down 9 points, 2 scores they need. So that 4:14 is going to really not seem exactly like an eternity. There's not a lot of time left to go in this ball game.
Yeah, that wasn't the time you want to, I don't want to say shank, but miss off to the side. I'm sure he's probably worried about the return and was trying to keep it away from the returner after they had a decent return last time and got a little bit off the outside of his foot and kicked it out of bounds for a 20-yard punt.
And so the Southeast Seminoles still alive in this ball game, down 9 points. 1st down and 10 from the Hurricane 32-yard line, taking over after that misfired punt. And Thomas looking downfield. He's got his receiver, slips down, and that ball just a little bit off target. And that looks like the intended receiver was, can't tell that number. Was that 15?
I could not make the number.
It might have been 16, Wortham. And we talked about Southeast needing to throw that football, and here's Thomas again.
Pressure.
Under pressure that time, and he'll go down.
That's 41.
And that's Ladarius Thomas, the linebacker for the Hurricanes. Ian Johnson-Kelly cleaning up.
Yeah, 41's blitzing off the corner here. He's unblocked. That chases him out. I think he gets him, and he eventually falls down. I would give credit to 41 for the sack there.
Absolutely. Ladarius Thomas with another good game for the Hurricane defense tonight.
And he's just not accounted for by the protection there.
And that's a loss of
we
about
got a guy
6
coming
yards.
off the field here late.
And Thomas looking to pass again.
Pressure
Obviously
is bad.
more pressure, and he's going to go down again. That time it was Jerron Hill. Big 58 coming in there, breaking through with a big sack for the Hurricanes. And that really is going to take the wind out of the sail of Southeast here. 3:16 to go in the ball game. 4th down and a country mile to go.
Yeah, I mean, Southeast has run the ball effectively, but other than the one pass, they've really had no passing game to speak of. And it's going to be almost impossible for them to
Fourth and about 26 here. And we got a timeout by Southeast with 3:05 to go in the ball game. So you're faced with a 9-point deficit. You need 2 possessions, 3:05 to go in the ball game, and you've got 4th down and 24. What's your call, Coach?
Hail Mary. I don't know. You throw it up if you have a guy who can jump and try to get him matched up against a smaller DB and run a go route and throw the ball up. That's about all you can do. Maybe a screen the other way and hope you can pop it. But if you get tackled before that 1st down marker, you're turning it over. But I'm not sure if they have the time right now to even get a deep ball off the way the Hurricanes defensive line is crashing through there now.
But that's the play you need to make, not just with the opportunity to get downfield. We've seen Wortham come close to making a play, but the opportunity for defensive pass interference as well.
Yeah.
Just something downfield, hope for contact. And here we go. 5 wide. We got actually, well, I don't know how we have 6 wide receivers in the game, but there we go. One guy coming off the field.
Yeah, you got empty here, and they're going to be coming after him.
And Thomas has got that ball complete, but well short of the yard to gain for a 1st down, and Southeast is going to turn that thing over on downs.
And that'll be the ball game more than likely, unless Manatee does something inexplicable.
That'd have to be Miracle in the Meadowlands inexplicable twice,
Yes.
to go down here with a 9-point
right,
lead.
with a two-score lead. Just a matter of running the clock out on Southeast. I know they don't have 3 timeouts. The scoreboard says 3. I know they used 1 on defense there. I'm not sure if they have 2 left or 1 left, but they can maybe stop it 2 more times max. No 2-minute warning in high school, so that you don't get the stop there that you get in the NFL. So all Manatee has to do is run the ball security, and run out the clock.
And I'm pretty sure Jaquez Green is going to agree with that strategy. Keyshawn Smith with a carry off the left side, that time out to about the 44-yard line. Mark him down at the 43. Pickup of about 5.
And Lisinski's going back in on defense for Southeast because he came out for 1 play and got a drink of water after that offensive possession, and now he has to go right back in.
He's earned it.
He's played a great game.
I'm going to give a lot of credit to the entire Southeast defense.
Oh, they played fantastic.
We talked about Michael Gibson.
Yeah.
And he's been active as well, more in the first half than here lately, but nonetheless, that Southeast defense really holding Manatee down. Now, granted, Manatee in the second half opening things up, 18 first downs in the second half to 1 for the Southeast Seminoles. So, and Manatee moving the ball, putting all 9 points, or at least 7 points offensively on the board in the second half.
Yeah, you can say one thing about Southeast coming into game 1-7. There was no quit. They played hard. They're playing hard. The defense is still playing hard now. Even though we know, for all practical purposes, the game's out of hand. There's no quit out there.
And give credit to those defensive coaches. Brett Timmons out there, former linebacker for the Southeast Seminoles. Coach Ige, Coach Brown, Coach Steven. All those guys doing a great job with that Seminole defense. And yet maybe this is something to build on, too. These young guys out there, we talked about 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores starting on this defense. Holding a playoff team in Manatee to 9 points or 7 points offensively for an entire ball game.
Yeah.
That's something to carry into next season.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. 122.
And a timeout by the Hurricanes with $1:22 left to go in the ball game.
Yeah, they ran it down as far as they could right before the penalty and called timeout, and they'll go out and run a couple more plays. I don't know if Coach Timmons will use a timeout, being down by 2 scores, to force extra snaps.
You know, there was another guy out there on defense. We kept calling him mystery guy number 12 earlier. We didn't have his name, but and I think we might have said it coming out of the half, but it is Ladarian Davis. Made a couple of good plays there in that first half. Want to give him a shout out as well as the coaches and the rest of his defensive teammates out there. And Manatee now is going to, take this victory. Of course, they're going to take this victory. I'm not sure how many quality points they're going to get in the standings. Palmetto nipping right there at their heels. Manatee still the 3rd ranked team in Region 4 for 4S, and Palmetto right behind them, the 4th ranked team. So you got to wonder, does a close game with Southeast here kind of flip that seeding a little bit or not?
Well, supposedly, according to the state, the margin of victory means nothing. So it's only who you beat and what their record is. So their strength of schedule will go down because they're playing a 1-7 team or 1-8 team now after this game. So they'll lose some strength of schedule, but they'll get another win.
And Palmetto off this week.
Right. They're where they are. They will have no chance of changing. We've seen them do that before. Manatee try to draw a team off sides. They're trying to get a first down there without running a play, and then they're going to come back in and call timeout again. With 3rd and 5, I guess they thought they could maybe get a first down without snapping the ball and take where there's no risk, and then they'd be able to take a knee if they did that. Now they're going to have to come up with a 3rd down play to try to get a first down to avoid punting.
And that really, you don't want to give the ball back, but again, with 1:22 left, not a lot of hope. But, if you're going to have that hope, you got to get the ball back right now if you're Southeast. So Manatee, behooving upon them to come up with 5 yards. And they run this game out.
Yeah, my mind was just flashing back when Manatee kicked the ball out of bounds to a time when Manatee coaches wished they'd kicked it out of bounds. Back when Peter Warwick returned a kick with a little over a minute left in the game to win a game at Hawkins Stadium back in the early 90s.
That was infamous.
Don't bring that up to Robbie Stevenson when you do a Palmetto game, though.
One of the lowlights of his entire career.
It was a good punt.
And there's Peter Warwick right there.
Yeah, there he is. P-Dub. You think about all the names of the guys who have played in this rivalry and got on and played college football and NFL. Brian Poole was here tonight, we heard.
And there's that big pickup by Corey Sanders that's going to basically end this game. First down, Manatee across midfield, and they're going to be able to just take a knee from this point up. Yeah, we were thinking we might see Brian Poole up here in the press box, but he's out there on the field. Not on the field, on the sideline.
Yeah, we were hoping to get him up here and do an interview. But all the great names, the Southeast program has had so many great players over the years, and I just think of guys like Steve Cucci and Rich Robich and Reggie Green and Reggie Davis. You leave guys out when you start naming people, but just names that pop into your head. John Reeves, who went on to play in the NFL. Hiawatha Rutland, running back and went to Iowa State and has been passed away a few years ago. Just Brian Poole, just all the great players that have come through here, and Jonathan Dowling, and every year.
You're not going to run out of names. We could sit here for the final.
Sit here until midnight.
Minute 14 left to go in this ball game, and you're still going to have a lot of names to rattle off because A, there's that many names, and B, that many guys. You coached against them. You've known them since they were in youth football. And there's you weren't around then.
No, not quite.
No,
I didn't have the leather helmets.
But when we talk about
having worked for Coach Canan and worked for Coach Beckley, both guys like to sit around and talk football, and I like to do that. So I've spent many hours sitting around with Coach Canan and Coach Beckley, talking football, and with other assistant coaches after practice or after games, or going to coaching clinics, and you just sit around and talk about things in the past, or something will come up and it'll remind them of something. It's funny, both Coach Meckley and Coach Canan, who very different personalities, but so similar in a lot of ways people wouldn't realize. They both have photographic memories and remember exact plays and calls and players. And like Coach Canan even has files on play. Somebody was there once, a former player, said they ran a 4.6 when they were in high school. And
No, you didn't.
he said, no, you didn't. And he turned around and pulled a file out of the filing cabinet and showed his times from that spring of his senior year, and he was a 4.75. And said, don't tell anybody you ran a 4.6.
Well, you talked about it earlier when we were off the air. You're just one of a handful of coaches to actually coach for both of those legends, Joe Canan and Paul Meckley. So I'm sure the conversations you've had with those guys over the year, not a lot of other people have had them.
No, and it's great, and I was blessed to have that opportunity to do that.
And that's going to do it. The players are lining up on the field. We've got the final 10 seconds of the game ticking off right now. And your final score from Paul Meckley Field at Kiker Memorial Stadium, it's going to be the Hurricanes 9 and the Southeast Seminoles nothing. A hard-fought battle, and our hats go off to the Southeast Seminoles, who came to this game with a 1-7 record and playing for nothing but pride, while the Hurricanes were playing for their playoff lives, and the Seminoles almost took them to task. So, head coach Brent Timmons and the Southeast Seminoles, outstanding job in the final game of this 2022 season. Manatee will play again. They think they're going to go down and take on Lehigh in the opening round of the playoffs, but we've got to see how the seeding shakes out for the District 4S.
We'll find out Sunday morning at 11. I think they start revealing the brackets for the playoffs, and they'll have an idea who they're playing.
And Palmetto, as we said earlier, they're off this week. Lakewood Ranch looking to sneak into the playoffs as well and get to 6-3 on the season. So we'll see how all that unfolds for all the Manatee County teams. And before we take off right now, there's one look at a disappointing outcome for the other Manatee County team chasing a district championship tonight. The Braden River Pirates are going to go down to the Port Charlotte Pirates. Right now your score is 29-14 with just 6 minutes to go in that fourth quarter. And that's from Braden River High School, where that game was moved to. So that's going to do it. Your final score here, again, from Paul Meckley Field is going to be the Manatee Hurricanes 9 and the Southeast Seminoles nothing. And that's going to do it, not just for tonight's game. That's going to do it for the 2022 broadcast. So before we go, I want to give a major shout out to our producer, Adam McCune, Matt Messenger, Nick Backelder. Those guys have been with us all season long. Again, Amanda Clark and all of her students from the Southeast TV production class. And, of course, my partner up in the booth all season long, Coach Chris Conboy. It has been one heck of a season one with MSTV broadcast. For everybody that's helped make this happen throughout year one, I'm Skip Wilhoit, and we'll catch you next year. Good night, everybody.